Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine. I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
There we go. There we go. Have a little look. Okay, yes. I knew there was a reason I don't look on Twitter during the show. I don't look on Twitter during the show now, and it makes life so much easier, don't you think? We are creating a world in this show, a world unlike any other world, a unique world where Twitter does not exist, where Google does not exist. Imagine, we don't Google stuff on the show anymore. I'll have a coffee if that's where you're going, please. Thank you very much indeed. We don't Google stuff anymore. And do you know what has been really interesting about this? We've kind of been doing it on and off for a couple of weeks, and I like it. I like it. It's not a hard and fast rule, but I like it. And the reason I like it is because I'm really having to think hard. I'm really having to try and remember things, or take an educated guess. That's what I'm having to do. And I would say 95% of the time, I've been right. We talked about the building that collapsed in Bangladesh. I got the year right pretty much and the number right of people who died. Pretty much. So, my finger is on the pulse. So we are creating a world, an environment that is unlike any other radio show in the world. But I think I've found something that's a bit similar. I think I've found something that's a bit similar. It's a podcast. It's not quite radio. We're going to New York, right? June the 12th to the 16th. The show's going to be coming from New York. We're going to have live bits. You can still phone in for bits of it, and we're going to have loads of pre-recorded stuff. With 2 months to go, I think we may have overbooked ourselves already with the amount of incredible guests we've got. Imani Coppola and Steve Guttenberg, anybody? To name but two. Steve Guttenberg's on the show tomorrow as well. And, so I'm looking for podcasts, and I don't really listen to podcasts because there are too many. It's like me saying, I really want to get into classical music, but I wouldn't have a clue where to start. I like Haydn, but that's it. I don't really know where to start. Although there is that Vaughan Williams piece. Oh, God, it's 13 minutes long, and it just makes me cry. Oh, God. If I thought I could get away playing all of it, I would play all of it. It's just, it makes me cry. It's just does something magical. But I've been asking you to recommend podcasts, and we found a few. The Bowery Boys I found, and then loads of you said that. And then a couple of you suggested a podcast called Beautiful Anonymous. I read the description. Oh, flipping heck, man. Basically, this guy, I think he's called Chris, people phone him up and he records it and they tell their stories and he's not allowed to hang up for the first hour. I'm listening to one called Fugitive Father. Just sweet home Alabama. It's incredible. And this guy, we cross in a Venn diagram. We overlap quite a lot. He's very open about his mental health, about antidepressants, about therapy, all of these kind of things. And by coincidence, the one I've tuned into is a guy talking about antidepressants and depression, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant because I'm there going, oh, I get that. He's also the guy, Chris Gethard, I think his name is. He's done a special for HBO, and I watched the trailer for that. We're trying to get him on the show. A brilliant show. So it's similar to this. It's the closest thing I've found to this. And I'm always saying, if you find a show that is like this, that is as freeform as this, point me in the direction of it, guys, because I want to listen to it. Well, I found one. And there are loads of episodes, about 55 hours, and I am going to dive into it. I found another one, another show that has similarities to this in that they play around. Alan, I'll come to you in a bit. 0344 499 1000, by the way. Do you like my new top if you're watching on Periscope? They play around with audio to create audio. What a terrible word that is. Strike that from the record, Your Honour. They play around with music and sound in a way that creates a vaguely psychedelic texture to it, in a similar way to the way that sometimes on this show I play around with music and audio and repetition and things like that. And it's a show called Radio Lab. And it's these two guys that present it. And each episode, I don't know if it's weekly or monthly or whatever, each episode they tell a story. A true story that's happened. And the one I chose, and I chose it because it was the shortest, and I just wanted to get a feel for it, was about a Chinese team in the 2012 Olympics playing badminton against a Korean team. And both teams had already got through to the next round, but they wanted to lose because the winning team would play an incredibly excellent, thank you, Emma, incredibly excellent badminton team in the next round. So they wanted to lose so they wouldn't have to play this team that they would probably lose against. So they're playing, but trying to lose. And the audience are booing them. And it was great. It was told brilliantly. They got the umpire, referee, I don't know what you call it. They got the referee on. They had the Korean people the Korean players talking, but in Korean it was It was brilliant. It was brilliant. And it has excited me no end. Because I'm hoping we can get both of those shows. We can meet up with the people from both those shows and have a chat with them and introduce them to you and you to them when we go to America. But B, it's got me excited because there are people out there. We're not alone, Kath. We're not alone. There are people out there that do a similar, vaguely similar thing to this. We're not alone. I'm not. There's something noble, isn't there, about treading the lone path and being a solo warrior. But I crave recognition and identification, and with these two shows, I've just found it. Just a little bit. Which makes me feel all the better and all the more confident about the stuff that I'm doing with this and with the rabbit hole. By the way, guys, a new rabbit hole drops tonight or tomorrow morning. The rabbit hole, what's that? It's a show that me and Catherine do that is not part of this. It's a phone-in show recorded live in front of an actual studio audience. And you go to iTunes or Acast or your usual podcast provider, The Rabbit Hole, Iain Lee, boom, it'll pop up. We're doing two shows in Manchester, one on May the 6th and one on July the 29th. And if you follow me on Twitter, you get details for that. But it just made me think, there are other people that are doing non-formulaic stuff, that are doing stuff that is a little bit different, a little bit out there. And I've noticed that 1 or 2 or 5 of the regulars have stopped calling in. I've noticed that on the Facebook page, the Talk Radio listeners page, we used to get maybe 150 posts a show, and it kind of went down to 90, and now it kind of hovers around 50 and 60. I've noticed a few people saying, well, I don't like the show anymore on Twitter. But can you not go back to the way it was? Well, no, I can't, because I don't know what you mean by the way it was. And also, the only constant this show has is that it's constantly evolving. Call it peacocking if you will, Mr. Barks. As far as I'm concerned, the only consistent thing in this show is its inconsistency. And we are evolving. And I'm not going to please everybody. Some of you wanted topics. I introduced topics. Some of you hated that. Some of you hate the fact that we've had themes. Some of you hate the fact that I'm a little bit argumentative at times. Some of you hate the fact that I'm Tommy Boyd light. Some of you hate the fact that I'm Iain Lee light. Some of you hate the fact I'm Iain Lee. Tough. The show is what it is, and we will lose listeners, and we will gain listeners, and we will lose callers, and we will gain callers, and it will be what it is. And I nearly swore then. I nearly said effing. And I bloody love it. I bloody love it. I am supremely confident for the first time in a long time that what we are doing, and by we I mean me and you, dear listener, and I mean me and Catherine as my producer, is we are doing something bold, we are doing something unique, we are doing something brave, in as much as we are bucking the trend. It was just over a year ago that we started doing this show and said, you know what, we're not going to talk about Muslims, we're not in a derogatory manner, we're not going to talk about immigration, we're not going to talk about Brexit, we're not going to point the finger at different people and go, it's them! It's their fault. It's their fault you haven't got any money. It's their fault you're out of work. It's their fault you're not getting the benefits. It's their fault you can't get an appointment at the doctor. I'm not doing any of that. And every now and then I wobble and I waver and I quiver. Last night, halfway through last night's God special, Kath came in and she went, oh, this is going well. I said, is it? I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Is it a bit one note? Is it a bit tedious? Is it a bit boring? She went, no, it's good. And she was right. It was good. It was bloody good last night. Some of you thought we were mocking Christianity. Not in the slightest. I would love you to quote the bit of the show where I was mocking Christianity. Some of you got in touch with me, Christians, and said, thanks for that, Iain. It was really interesting. You provoked quite a good debate, and you did it in a reasoned way, and you let people come on and have their say. So, the people who are upset by last night's show, because you thought it was mocking Christianity, I don't think that's what you're upset about. I think the reason it made you so uncomfortable is because it shone a mirror on you. Personally, there was no mocking of Christians. I did not lie about getting on my knees and praying and asking Jesus to enter my soul. I did that. I actually did that. There was no tongue-in-cheek. There was no sly winks to the camera. I put myself in the position of a Christian to see what blind faith would enable me to argue for. And I found it really interesting. And I suggest you do the same thing. If you are an atheist or agnostic, I can never remember which is which, then you try the same with your friends. Take the position of being a Christian for 2.5 hours and argue. Because it's good. It's good for you. A, it's good sport. B, it's good exercise for the brain. And C, it's interesting to see where other people are coming from. And likewise, if you are of a faith, then why don't you take the alternative position for a little bit and pretend that you are not of faith, that you are waiting to be convinced and see what it feels like. Because it's bloody interesting to do that. Now, with that in mind, tonight's show, I haven't got anything. I've got some stories in the papers and that's it. I have all my silly little musical beds lined up so we can play those. And it's really up to you where this conversation goes this evening. loads of people watching on Periscope. I've noticed the Periscope figures dropping off. It's fine. I'm not worried about the listening figures disappearing. I don't think they will. I think they are growing. And even if they're not, so what? No one's going to die. No one's going to die. My figures, it's not like Speed, where I've got to keep the bus going at 50 miles an hour or above, otherwise it blows up. It's not like that. It's good film speed. I like that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Come and join me. Come and dive into my world. Pick up the phone. And if you want to phone up and say, I think the show's crap now since you had that nutter on, or I don't think it's any good, or whatever you want to say. It can be about anything. Art, love, hatred, pain, music, passion, anything. 0344 499 1000. Won't cost you anything. If it does, it'll cost you pennies. You'll speak to Catherine. She'll take your details, call you straight back. We've got Alan and Tom lined up, and I'm going to go straight to them after this.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hang on. I'm trying to find the music. We're in my beds. Hang on, Alan, coming to you in a minute.
Okay.
Hang on, Tom, coming to you in a minute. Hang on. There we go, we're in. Yes, Alan.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 sir. What kind of cake?
Lemon drizzle.
That's what the kids want these days. They want hip, hip, hip. They want what kind of cake? And who am I to argue with the kids?
Yeah, who are you?
Who are you? I would say that Who Are You has got to be the Who's finest song.
Yeah, one of the greatest songs. You know, it's the theme tune to CSI.
Apparently it is. It's a great song.
A 70s classic.
It certainly is. And it really is one of those songs that I just think it doesn't age at all.
Like a fine wine.
No, fine wines do age.
No, with vintage.
They age into vintage wines. That's what fine wines do.
All right.
But Alan, you've not called in to show off about your knowledge of fine and vintage wines, have you?
No, I want to talk about Sesame Street because they've got an autistic character.
Wowzers, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I thought they had one already.
No, she's only been signed over than yesterday for the first time.
Well, isn't it about... Now, when you say an autistic character, is it an actual child or a Muppet? And I don't mean that in a derogatory term. That's the name of that's the brand name of the puppets they use on that television programme.
It's an autistic Muppet.
I woke up in a Soho doorway, a policeman knew my name. He said, you can go sleep at home tonight if you can get up and walk away. I staggered back to the underground and the breeze blew back my hair. I remember throwing punches around and preaching from my chair. Well, who are you? Are you? Come on, Alan. I really want to know. That's it, boy. Come on. Oh, tell me, who are you? 'Cause I really want to know. Leave it to me. I took the tube back out of town, back to the rolling pin. I felt a little like a dying clown with a street covering Tintin. I stretched back and I hiccuped. I look back on my busy day. 11 hours in the tin pack. God, there's got to be another way. Well, who are you? I sound like Satchmo. Blimey. Tell me, who are you? I'm not going to be able to do another 2.5 hours of radio after this. Tell me, who are you? Who the flip are you? Oh, jeez. Hey. Hang on. Let me just get my breath back, Alan. I've got to do... Hey. I sound like Satchmo and that. That's so imagine being Roger Daltrey. He's been doing this for about 50-odd years. Hang on.
I know. He's gone forever.
And he's only tiny. I'm a big fella and I can't do it. Yeah. How you feeling, Alan?
I'm feeling fine.
You think we can make it to the end?
Definitely.
Jeez, there's another 2.5 minutes. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Ready? Not yet. Oh, Jesus, here we go. Who are you? Jesus. Take it, Alan. Bloody hell. Keep going. Bit more. I'll have a drink of water. It's like a ventriloquist act. Keep going, Alan. Here we go. You keep going, then I'll drive this baby home. All right? Nearly there. Here we go. Yes. No, we've done that bit now, Alan. Here we go. You do this bit. Here we go. Now. Who are you? Who are you? Bit more. Who are you? I really want to know. Who the flip are you? Yeah. Tell me, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I really want to know. I don't know this bit. Ooh, I really want to know. Come on, tell me, who are you? You. Who are you? So this autistic Muppet they've got, and that's not me being offensive, it's the trade name of the puppets they use. Tell me about it. What's it called?
Her name's Julia.
Oh, yeah.
And she does things differently to all the other cousins. But when Big Bird said hello to her, she just ignored him and carried on with her painting.
Has anyone else ever actually seen Mr. Snuffleupagus?
What, Snuffy?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Snuffy.
Oh, well, only Big Bird can see Snuffy.
That's a bit unusual.
Yeah. And then Snuffy goes off and makes adult movies. It's a deep reference, but some of you sickos will get it.
And also, could that bring me to a question, could Big Bird be under the influence?
I didn't understand that, so I'm just going to ignore it. I stopped watching it when they got rid of Mr. Hooper.
Didn't the actor who played him died?
Probably murdered by Snuffy and filmed. Thank you very much for that, Alan. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. I'm being reliably informed that Mr. Snuffleupagus is on Twitter and only follows Big Bird. Tom is on the line. Good evening, Tom.
Hello, Mr. Iain Lee. How you doing?
I'm very well, Mr. Tom. Thank you for... Actually, I'm not well. My elbow, honestly, and I don't want to keep going on about this, but my elbow is absolutely killing me. And I had... some company got in touch on Twitter and said, well, Iain, sorry to hear you've got tennis elbow. What are you doing to treat it? And I clicked on their thing and they make things to treat tennis elbow. So I replied, I'm not doing anything yet, ... And they said, well, we have a great product which you could get. And I said, well, if you'd like to send me a free one, ... And they replied, you can buy them online. So I muted them. I'm a big star. I can give them untold promotion. But as a result of their rudeness, I shall not.
Shame.
Shame indeed. Tom, what have you got for us?
I was just giving you a call about... I heard you talking about Chris Gefford earlier in his Beautiful Anonymous podcast.
Yes, it's good, isn't it? I've only just discovered it.
I always liken your show to his because I listen to quite a few podcasts and people say, oh, what would you recommend? And I say, oh, Iain Lee. Chris Gessard, quite similar if you like that kind of thing, but I'm surprised it took you this long to find it.
Because no one told me, but Tom! Hang on a minute. Because no one told me, Tom, I've been asking people to recommend shows that are like this, and it's not wildly like it, but I can see similarities, and no one told me about it.
It might, yeah, the problem might be that when you say... send you links, you don't click on them.
Well, okay, if we're going to be pendants about this, I don't say send me links, I say tell me about shows that are like this.
True.
So, true. Tom, I expect a written apology. But no, it's brilliant, and I've only listened to 3/4 of one, but even just reading the description on iTunes, I knew I was going to absolutely fall in love with it, and it hasn't let me down at all. He's brilliant. So I'm really hoping we can get him on the show in New York.
You'll have a great time listening to all of them because they're all so different as well. Some of them have had me in tears.
How does it work? Does he post like a phone number? Because I've not really read a lot about it. Does he post a phone number somewhere and people just ring in and he answers it?
He just tweets it out. He just tweets it out when he's recording, and then people call in, and then they go from there. But some of them have had me in tears. Some of them have me in stitches of laughter.
Well, the one I'm listening to is this lad who's suffered from depression, and he's been on all his different treatments, and he's been suicidal, but he's got a new girlfriend, and he doesn't really get on with his dad because his dad's a devout Christian, and then he kind of let slip that his dad used to do people smuggling, and he used to fake up green cards for them, and it's just brilliant. This is my theory, Tom, and it's borne out by this show, and it's borne out by Chris's show. Everyone's got a story. Yeah. Everyone has got a story. What was I listening? I read an interview with someone, and they said everyone's got a story. Oh, no. I know exactly who it was. It was the fella behind S-Town and Serial, I think. It was the fella behind S-Town.
I've not listened to S-Town yet. It did get recommended the other day, but I've not given it a listen yet.
I liked it. I found the ending quite disappointing, though. No spoiler alert, guys. No spoiler alert for me. Don't worry. I found it sounded incredible. I mean, the production is incredible, but they've got about 25 people working on it. And it will have a huge budget because it had 17 million downloads in the first week. I just found the ending... I was hoping for a bit more from the ending, and in my eyes, I found it a bit disappointing. But he said, in an interview with Miranda Sawyer, the guy that does Serial in S-Town, he said, everyone's got a story, but they don't all deserve to be on the radio, or something like that, right? And I thought, no, you're wrong. They're not all good enough to be on the radio, something like that. I thought, no, you're wrong. My theory is, everyone's got a story, and they are all worthy of being broadcast. It's my job, it's the host's job, to kind of get to that story and to nudge it out. And if I don't get to that story, that means that I've failed. I haven't quite done my thing. So I disagreed with him quite strongly on that. But, it was good. It was good, this beautiful Anonymous. I'm thrilled that I've got that to dive into, and Radiolab as well, which the one I heard just blew me away. So I'm very, very excited about those.
Do you know if Chris is still doing his... he did a live show. He was over for 2 weeks at the Soho Theatre in February recently.
Oh, it was that recently, was it?
February, I think it was. If he's still doing that show whilst you're in New York, I'd definitely recommend it. It's called Career Suicide.
Yes, he's filmed an HBO special for it, and I've seen the trailer for it. It's on his Twitter feed. But, I'm going to have a look out for that, Tom. So, nice one. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, give it a go. It's all about mental health, and it's very open discussion.
The trailer is him talking about how he takes antidepressants, and they have side effects that no one ever talks about. And I mean, I would imagine, I've not seen the full routine, I would imagine one of them, the side effects he talks about, is the fact that if you're a bloke, it's really hard to ejaculate.
Yeah.
And the only place I've only ever heard that spoken about in 2 places. One was on this show, and one was a stand-up routine by one of the kids in the hall. I think it's Dave Foley, where he talks about it. And I've never, even my doctor, when he goes through the side effects, doesn't mention, by the way, you won't be able to come. And no one mentions that. No one mentions that. And when you're, as Dan, who tweets the show quite often, says, it's like running a really, really good marathon, and then they just keep moving the finishing line. It's exactly it. But no, I'm gonna look out. I'm really glad I've finally stumbled onto this young man. Unfortunately, 8 weeks after he's been in the actual country. But hopefully, when we're in New York, we'll get to grab him and get him on the show. And I tell you what, Tom, I'm getting in touch. I'm learning Americanisms. I'm reaching out to loads of kind of small podcasts and medium-sized podcasts, and we're getting a brilliant reaction. So I really hope and think that we're going to be able to introduce some shows that maybe you haven't heard and other people haven't heard. So stay tuned, man.
Good stuff.
Nice one, Tom. Thank you, mate.
Take care. Good night.
Bye-bye. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Yes, Cleo.
Hello, dude.
Yes.
What's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory, that's an excellent question, and I can answer it very precisely. My earliest memory is of me in the living room of my house at 120 Monksfield Way on the Britwell Estate in Slough. I have my back to the television and the window. We had a wooden coffee table, and I am kneeling at one end of the coffee table, peering round to the right. I can see my mum sat down on her chair, and I remember exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, I am 3. And that's it. It's the earliest memory. What a great memory. I'm thinking, I am 3. And it's the first memory I've got, and it's a brilliant one.
It is a beauty. The reason I ask is because I think it was Alan who mentioned the Muppets.
Yes.
My first memory, I don't know what age I was, but I know I couldn't speak properly.
Well, Cleo, that could have been... I won't make the joke. I won't make the jokes.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Sometimes you tweet me stuff, and even in your... when you tweet me, I have no idea what you're saying.
Because I sometimes tweet in Geordie, you see.
I know, don't tweet in English.
I can't help it.
Tweet in English.
I'll try. But anyhow, I was sat.
Isn't it funny, on my Twitter feed, the Muppets have just popped up. Isn't that funny?
Very odd. I was sat.
Yes.
I had a bendy toy of Kermit.
Yes.
And it was about the size of me, because I was only a wee nipper.
Yeah.
I used to sit, like you, in the sitting room. But I remember sitting next to my brother, with my legs crossed.
Uh-oh.
Next to me, bendy Kermit.
Yes.
Watching the Muppets.
Oh.
And watching Kermit on the screen, singing, dancing, doing the Kermit-y thing.
Yes.
And keep looking at me toy and thinking, why is he not doing that?
Oh.
And I remember trying to get my brother's attention to say, why is he not doing that?
So your first memory is of the immense disappointing and ennui that we feel when we realise that commercial products we bought thinking they would make us happy actually add nothing to our lives. If anything, they subtract from it.
I like to think I was that profound as a baby, but I don't think I was.
It's a profound thought. It's a very profound thought.
But I told my brother this few years ago as an adult, and he actually remembered it because he said you were just shouting and you started trying to thrust the Muppet in his face and saying I was trying to say why is he, and he said after that you went off the Muppet. So the board is it.
Did you hear why? This is sad. Did you hear why Miss Piggy? Stop! I'm literally making this up. I'm making a gag up, and it's a good one. It's a good one. Did you hear why Miss Piggy dumped Kermit the Frog?
I see. I do know a Kermit and
well, let's hear your punchline. Let's hear your punchline, Cleo. That fits that.
I know. I've forgotten it.
Well, then let me tell you my joke, which I've just made up because I'm a comedy genius. So let's go again.
It might not even be the same one as well.
Did you hear the sad news? No. Did you hear why Miss Piggy dumped Kermit the Frog?
No.
She caught him looking at frogs porn.
That's actually quite good. Have you seen the...
that is good. Frogs spawn, frogs porn. The dirty. It's clever, that. It's a clever frogs porn.
It's very good.
Thank you.
Have you seen the documentary called...
No, the one about Big Bird, no.
Yeah.
I started watching it, I thought, I can't be bothered.
Mate, you have to...
No.
Don't pursue it.
No.
There's a couple of reasons why.
No. Yeah. Thank you, Claire. I started watching it. I couldn't be bothered. Partly because the person who operates Big Bird is called Carol. And it's a bloke. That is inappropriate naming. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So, I'm struggling with weight at the moment, and it's partly because of the pills I'm on. I'm on metazapine. My doctors, bloody hell. I'm on metazapine, and I kind of started in January, February, on venlafaxine as well, antidepressants. And I get them prescribed by... I go and see a private psychiatrist, guys, but I don't see him very often because I can't really afford it anymore. I started seeing him when I was on the telly. That's how long I've been nuts. But he is brilliant. What psychiatrists do, and it took me a long time to get this. Psychiatrists, you don't go and sit. You go and sit and talk with the psychiatrist, but they don't. They're not like therapists or counsellors. They don't do the. Tell me about your mother. Then they don't do that. That's therapists and counsellors. What a psychiatrist does is he is the drug prescriber. So he'll sit and listen, and he'll take in what's going on in the body. He goes, right, well, I think these drugs in this combination that's what they do. It took me ages to work that out. So he put me on this venlafaxine, and he writes a letter to my GP and says, right, I've put him on this, and this is how much he needs to take, and blah, 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 blah. And every time he writes him a letter, that my GP's balls it up. And so I had to go and get a new prescription today, and they didn't have the venlafaxine. They had the metazapine, didn't have the venlafaxine. Anyway, why am I telling you that? Oh, yeah, because I'm putting on weight because of these drugs, right? But the venlafaxine, last thing on this, kind of, it works better than the drug I was on previously in terms of weight. It's a slightly better combination, the way it locks in. But I'm putting on weight. And so I'm going to the gym, and I went to the gym today, and I went to the gym on Sunday and Saturday. I couldn't walk after Sundays. I couldn't walk today, but I thought if I don't go today, I won't get to go to the weekend, and I need to go and try and do something. So I went to the gym, and I'm struggling with weight. I got as high as, I think I used to be under 15 stone, I never used to weigh myself, okay? I just always, if my trousers and belt started getting a bit tight, I would cut out bread and pasta for 2 weeks, and it would go. But I think I was below 15 stone. Anyway, I got as high as 16 stone 7. Oh. Which for me is big. And as you get older, it gets a bit harder to shift anyway. And with the drugs, it changes your metabolism, and it makes me not know when I'm never satisfied when it comes to food. And where am I going with this? Oh yeah, so my weight, I got it down since changing these drugs. I got it down to 15.8, then down to 15.6, then down to 15.3, and I was thinking, ooh. I'm going to be below 15 stone in a week. I can feel it. But now it's going back up again. It's going up and up and up. And last night I was 15.9. What the hell? And I'm not really. Well, Kath will vouch for this because I don't eat. I've cut my food. I do eat. I've cut my food right down. Chocolate has gone pretty much. There have been a couple of times when I've had a headache, so I've had to have a bit of chocolate to give me a sugar rush to counter the headache. But chocolate is pretty much gone. I tend not to eat in the day. Today I had an egg cress sandwich. And I don't even like egg and cress, egg mayonnaise and cress. So I had that. And then I came in and we treat myself to a little bit of sushi tonight. Me and Cash had some sushi and a wrap and some fruit, which I've not had. But every night, my one little treat, at a tiny little box. If you're watching on Periscope, you're lucky enough to be able to see this tiny little box of coconut chunks. Coconut chunks. It's my little treat, and I like it. And I thought I was being dead swanky by eating coconut chunks. 0344 499 1000. Now, I normally finish it before the show. And I came in tonight, I hadn't finished it, so I brought it into the studio, and James Ware went, "What are you eating?" I went, "Sorry, I don't speak 80s common." He went, "What are you eating?" I said, coconut. He said, oh, don't eat that. It's bad for your colon. What? He said, yeah, coconut is bad for your colon. Well, I'm not shoving it up my arse. I'm eating it. Is it bad for your colon? Is it? And then, 0344 499 1000. And then I'm sat here just eating the last couple of bits, and I just glanced over to Periscope, where people are watching the show. You can watch the show and see my fantastic new shirt. And yes, I know I look like a French boy. That's why I bought it. Periscope.tv/Iain Lee. And someone went, oh, don't eat coconut. Very, very high in calories. Is it? Coconut? I thought nuts. Well, I thought nuts were supposed to be good for you, and they were high in fats, but they are high in the good fats for you. That's what I thought. But now it turns out I might be completely wrong. I need... do you love nuts? Are you a nut expert? Why do we call our testicles nuts? Why do we call them nuts? They don't look like nuts. No, Cass pulling a face. You've seen some funny testicles then, or some funny nuts. I don't think my... I'm tempted to show them on Periscope. I'll hold off. But I don't think testicles look like nuts. Catherine's coming to the microphone. She wants to share an experience with me of probably when she was doing it outside once.
Just so you know, I mean...
Yep.
The Spanish call them eggs.
Well, they look more like eggs in a pouch, yeah. They look more like... what do the French call them? La boule? La boule?
I don't know.
La boule?
Never had that conversation.
La, because it would be la because it's masculine.
Le.
La boule?
No, le, because it's
La
more
boule?
than one. Le.
No, but if you only have one nut. La boule? If I'm pointing to one testicle. I'm touching one testicle. La boule.
Okay.
Les boules. Les boules. La boule. Les boules. La boule. Label les boules. And that's me saying label the balls. Fun with nuts. Here's the thing. Katia's phoning him. Here's the thing. 0344 499 1000. Now, not everybody knows this. All right. Because not everybody has studied les boules as much as I have. I've only studied my own. When you're a teenage boy, all you've got in terms of sexual contact is your own genitalia. That's it. And you're so desperate at the age of 15, 16, 17, so desperate for any sexual contact that you just play with yourself. Anyway, here's the thing. They don't tell you about les boules. If you hold les boules, they move. They move. It's the most remarkable thing. They move independently. You can't control it. Cass nodding and going, yeah. You hold them and they just move. Kind of crawling around in there. Like those Mexican jumping beans. You know why the beans jump? The Mexican jump, because they've got a little bug inside. They've got a tiny little bug in there. What's the bug called? La cucaracha. That's it. It's got la cucaracha in there. And that's why they move. Here's a pub quiz question for you guys while we're on a roll. Ukulele means, it's Hawaiian for not little bug, little, don't type it on the screen. What is, Katia? Yeah. Katia?
Yeah.
That's the correct response. What does ukulele mean in Hawaii? It's a bug. It means a jumping flea. It's the jumping flea.
Okay.
That's what it means. Ukulele means jumping flea. There you go. You can have that. Google doesn't exist in this world. I had to get that from the back of my mind like I was in a pub quiz. Ukulele, or ukulele as they say over there, means jumping flea. Jumping flea. Now, Katia, you've must have held many testicles in your time as a French Belgian.
I'm not
Les boules?
Understood this. You wanted to know stuff about nuts. That's why I'm calling.
About testicles?
No, that's not why. Because you said, I'm eating a lot of nuts.
Well, I'm also eating a lot of testicles.
You...
Here's a question. Right?
Yes.
And it's not the question you think it's going to be after me talking about eating your own balls. But trust me, every boy has tried it.
What?
Every boy has tried it. And also, trust me, when you're very flexible at the age of 16, it's kind of possible. It's kind of possible. Anyway.
Did you see this movie, Clarks, where they did it, and one of them dies doing that?
Wowzers. Well, I'm glad I've stopped. I'm certainly not flexible enough now, but trust me. Trust me, I speak from experience.
Well done.
But if you were really hungry, Katia...
Yeah.
Right, I mean starving, right?
Yeah.
Could you cut off a bit of your own flesh and eat it?
No, no.
Why?
No. Well, because there's not much of me. So
No, I don't mean you personally. I mean, could one? I would cut a bit of my buttocks off.
Yeah, yeah.
I would cut a bit of my buttocks off, and I would cook it over. I'm assuming I've got lighter or matches. I would cook it over that, and I would eat it.
You can do that. You can, because there's this scientist who operated on himself a few centuries ago.
People do.
Yeah.
People take their own appendix out.
Yeah.
People do it. People take their own appendix out. That, to me, is those guys are heroes. Forget your firemen, your firewomen, your ambulance. Forget those. It's the people that can remove their own appendix. To me, are true heroes, Katia.
Congratulations to them.
Congratulations to them.
I wanted to know about mirrors on the ceiling.
Mirrors on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Pink champagne on ice.
Exactly.
She said, we are all just prisoners here of our own device. I'll find the tune in a minute. To forget.
Okay.
You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. I've gone into Steve Harley then. I don't know why.
So what I wanted to know, has anyone got mirrors on their ceilings at all?
Well, yes. Yeah, I've stayed in hotel rooms with mirrors on the ceilings.
Okay. Really?
Yep.
What kind of hotel?
A sex hotel. What do you mean, what kind of hotel? A hotel!
All right.
But the only reason, because it's supposed to be for sex, right? So the only person who can see the mirror is either if you're a solo player, or if you're the person that's lying on your back on the bed. So if you're a woman, all you're going to see is a man's hairy bum. And if you're a man, well, you would see a nice lady's bottom. So, comme ci, comme ça.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Etsy ketsi, as they say in Greek. That's what they say in Greek. Etsy ketsi.
Etsy ketsi.
No, they don't say that. What do they say? They don't say etsy ketsi. What do they say in Greek? They say, is it etsy? Any Greeks listening? Is it etsy ketsi? It kind of means up and down. Etsy ketsi. Is it etsy ketsi? Come see, come ça. Etsy ketsi. I don't know. Well, if there's any Greeks listening, yeah. Anyway, Katia, you've called in about nuts.
And I know about the mirrors and the ceiling.
Why are you asking about that, Katia? Has Roger, your fictional boyfriend, asked for some?
No, not... well...
What?
No, no, he hasn't.
Okay.
No, he was singing about them. And I was thinking, well, really, I don't know.
How did the song go that he was singing?
The Eagles.
Oh, the one I just sang?
No, well, yeah, we went to that, Mike, what is it, like singalong night?
I believe they call it karaoke.
No, it's not karaoke.
Oh!
It's Mick something.
Mick somebody. Well, you went to someone called Mick and they sang an Eagles song. Katia, that really is the reason that the phone-in will never die. Jim will come to you after this. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
Hello, dear listener. 0344 499 1000. So far, we've talked about coconuts and testicles. Oh, some as big as your head. Jim and Hannah, we will come to you after the latest Talk Radio news. Don't forget to tick your radio diaries. Late Nights with Iain Lee.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Actors who can't act.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Well. I've been Monkeys fans. I've been sent something I'm not allowed to share with you. Yeah. Talk of rarities. Talk about holy grails. It's not quite the Monkeys live in Japan 1968, the video. It's not quite Davy Goes Pop, his TV special from 1972, but bloody hell. It's so rare, I'd never heard of it until 2 weeks ago, and I've got it. It's just downloading now, guys.
If you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style.
Nope, it's just crashed. Oh well, never mind. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Good evening, Jim.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Jim.
So I was thinking about actors who can't act.
Yes.
Reese fans.
Who? Reese fans.
No. I've been swayed toward him because I saw a Shane Meadows film with him in there, was very good. And I thought,
well, then in that case, you've argued against yourself.
But it made me think of. When I watched Tron, the remake of Tron.
Yeah, great movie.
I thought
it wasn't a remake. Hang on. It wasn't a reboot.
Reboot.
It was a sequel.
Yeah, a sequel. So I thought it would be very good if it didn't have that scene with Reese Fans in it dancing with Daft Punk. That was the scene that ruined it for me a little bit. But then I started thinking about films where they have a little bit cut out of the film.
Yes.
And it makes the film better. Or not better, but perhaps more suitable. And the other night, I was watching Superman 3 with my kids.
Yes.
And they were loving Superman 3. They love Superman 1, they love Superman 2.
Is that the one with Richard Pryor in?
It is the one with Richard Pryor.
Yeah, it's a great one. He's playing a video game to try and zap Superman.
So we were watching it. They were loving Christopher Reeve in his pomp. Yeah. And then
Superman 4, of course, filmed in Milton Keynes train station.
Oh.
It was. It's Milton Keynes train station.
The whole thing.
Most of it. There's a big bit in it. It's Milton Keynes train station.
Alan Bennett.
Yeah.
The whole thing was fine and suitable, I thought, until the woman got sucked into the machine and then becomes a robot. Do you remember?
I don't remember it, actually. No, I've not seen Superman 3 since the 80s.
Well, you should watch it, but don't watch it with the boys unless you sense this scene. So I started thinking, why do I remember this film from when I was their age? And then I thought,
they cut it out.
They used to cut it out, didn't they?
Yeah.
They used to do these special versions.
Well, you used to get quite adult films that would be shown at 5:45 on a Saturday, and it would all be Mother Fluffer, you Mother Fluffer. I've
got a website like Netflix where I can sign up to those films, like The Goonies without the swear words in.
Oh, really? Because Goonies is filthy.
Yeah, get those swear words out, and it's a fine film to show children.
Hang on, where is this website that shows the TV-friendly versions of naughty movies?
It doesn't exist. Someone should make that website.
Oh.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, I remember watching that as a child.
Yeah.
You can't watch that with your children. That's
I don't remember Raiders of the Lost Ark very well. I remember I didn't like it. But someone told me there's a massive plot flaw in it, in that if he just let the Nazis get the Ark in the first place, they would all die anyway, instead of dying at the end of the film. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, Lord of the Rings a dragon, I think, approaches them in the first film, and if they'd have got a lift to where it takes them in the last film, then the whole series didn't need to happen.
Never watched it, never will.
No,
Life's too short for Lord of the Rings.
Literally 2 hours in, I was thinking, I'm never going to get this time back.
Yeah. Well, I was going to watch Lord of the Rings my plan was when they all came out on DVD was to get the director's cut, extended all of them, get stoned and watch them. And then I stopped taking drugs, which is the good thing to do, guys, because it rots your brain. And I thought, I don't want to watch these straight. I can't be bothered to watch these straight.
Oh, may I suggest Malbec? Oh, you don't drink?
No, don't do none of that. Don't. It means I've got to watch. If a film is boring, I have to sit through a boring film. That's it. There's no way of making it a little bit more fun or psychedelic.
Also, when I was a kid, I must have been 10.
Yes.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, I remember Beverly Hills Cop being fine to watch. But no, that was because they edited it for TV.
I would love to see those TV versions,
I would like to see Netflix.
Yeah.
Where they cut out the swear words.
Do you know what? One of my favourites is, it's such a good film, and it gets really overlooked in Robert De Niro's very patchy catalogue of work.
Usually up and down.
Up and down for the last 30 years, flipping it. But it's a film called Midnight Run. Have you seen it?
I have not seen
it. Oh, mate,
Run.
it's brilliant. I think it's like his first or second comedy, right? And he is a bounty hunter that's trying to get Charles Grodin, right? And it sounds awful. It's probably after The King of Comedy. It sounds awful. It is so funny, but it is so sweary. But I remember this being on 5:45 BBC One on a Saturday afternoon, and so when I watched it again as an adult, I couldn't. It's F this, F that, and that's partly what makes it so funny. Is Robert De Niro? There's a brilliant line in it where he's got to get him across country, and Charles Grodin goes, "I can't go on a plane. I can't remember what the word is from Afraid of Flying, but he says I've got such and such phobia," and De Niro goes, "You're going to have fistophobia in a minute," and it's just such a delicious line. It's such a good film, Midnight Run. I love it.
But do you know what the epitome was of the films being shown at 8 o'clock at night that shouldn't have been shown at 8 o'clock at night? It was RoboCop. Do you remember the television edited version?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen RoboCop.
What, the film? You've never seen RoboCop? I
don't know if I have. I don't know if I have.
There's a scene where he's shooting someone, and he repeats the words "F me, F me, F me." Now, they have to show it at 8 o'clock, so he says, "Why me? Why me? Why me?" over and over again. Really badly dubbed, as he's definitely saying an F with his mouth.
There's
brilliant. And you're going to be a bad mother crusher.
We watched the original Ghostbusters with the boys, and that's
another one.
It's quite rapey.
With the Dan Aykroyd scene with the ghosts that fillets him.
Yeah, and then there's the scene. There's a scene at the beginning with Bill Murray when he's doing the psychic test on the woman and the man, and he's trying to coerce her into having sex with him.
Yeah, well, when I watched it again recently, and I never picked up on one of the best jokes in the film, and it's where he comes back to her house and he's looking around it and he says, "This is the fridge, this is that," and he says, "What's this room?" And she says, "That's the bedroom," but nothing ever happened in there, and he says, "What a crime!"
It is a bit.
Pick on that when I was a kid. That's a great.
Have
joke.
you seen the Ghostbusters with the women in?
With the women, yeah. Well, I've got 2 daughters who I live alone with, so I try and entertain them as much as I can. And we went to the cinema to watch the.
Was it any good?
For the girls, yeah. It was enjoyable.
Because I wanted to see it, and I know it got really bad press, but I thought it was a lot of it was just being mean.
I thought there was mean press, and I thought, if you look at Kevin Smith, he said it was fantastic, and loads of decent people said it was good. I thought it was good. And the guy who played Thor, I don't know his name, the actor.
What, Thor?
Thor.
In the Thor movies?
Yeah. He's in it, and he's the funniest thing in it.
Is he?
He's brilliant. Yeah, genius. Yeah, really well casted.
Nice one, Jim. That was an excellent call, mate. Thank you very much indeed. And that's how the show works. You can call in about absolutely anything. He's right, though. I'd love to see... They should have... I mean, you get those Channel 5. Now, I know I do work for Channel 5, so far be it from me to knock them. But sometimes when they show a movie on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, the quality of it is so poor. You wonder if they just, sometimes post offices and news agents, they have a box of VHSs from when they used to be video rental, and you can buy them for £1. You do wonder if the head of Channel 5 has just gone down to the local post office and seen there's a box of VHSs and offered them £5 and showing them, because they're really bad quality sometimes. Anyway, Hannah, stay there. Come to you after this. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, 344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We're having one of those shows where anything goes, guys. Anything goes. You can call in about absolutely anything that you want. Good evening, Hannah. Oh, hang on. There's a buzz. Let me plug my lead in. I've been sent actual treasure, and I need to. Anyway, Hannah. Good evening, Hannah. It's 16 minutes past 11. It's Wednesday evening. It's Talk Radio. It's the home of the hits. It's today's better music mix. Oh, by the way, on the bank, not the first bank holiday coming up. The bank holiday on May the 1st. Me and Kath are working on something very, 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 very special for radio geeks. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying any more. Saying any more. It's good. We've captured lightning in a bottle, and it's something very, very special. That's all I'm prepared to say, Hannah. Please continue with your call and don't refer back to what I've just said.
Oh, top secret.
Top secret. Kushti, kushti. Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. Say no more.
Okay. Right. Before the news, you're talking about balls.
What's a difference from the call 24 hours ago? Huh? Yes, I was. I was talking balls.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about balls.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to talk about bum holes now.
Oh, sweet Lord Jesus, no!
Well, you were talking about losing weight, right?
Yes. I'm hovering over the fader, yes.
Okay. You don't need to.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Well, you said you're about losing weight.
Yes.
Well, you might want to have something stuck up. Still there?
Would I now? Why would I want... I faded that down because I could see where that was going. It was going to a very dark place. Literally, I meant... Oh, yay! Whoa! I don't want to have something stuck up my jacksie to help me lose weight. What is that? What is that nonsense?
The enema thing.
No! Channel 4 wanted me to go on their programme, Celebrity Enemas, and I said, you know what, I ain't that desperate to be back on TV, so I don't think so, guys.
What, even if they paid you?
Hey! Oh, whoa! Hey! Yeah! No.
Did you dump that?
No, I'm excellent at riding the fader. Just like an enema tube is not excellent at riding me. That's never going to happen. I tell you why it's not going to happen, because I read an article about it when it was all the rage about 10 years ago. Yeah. And it was an article in one of the Sunday supplements. It was a good one as well, not the Mail or anything like that. And, the reporter interviewed someone who'd had it done, and they said a marble dropped out. And I thought, well, why would you... it's not natural. Enemas... there's a marble up there. They'd swallowed a marble, and it had never come out. They'd swallowed it as a kid. It had never come out. And it was a marble. A marble.
Oh.
They'd swallowed it as a kid. It never came out. They put it up there. Wish, wash, wash. Out it came. So, no, it is never happening. It is not normal. It is not natural. If God had intended us to have tubes up our bum, then he would have invented... No, he hasn't. Oh, God, he's invented the technology. God wants us to have a tube up our bum.
Yeah, what he... No, he didn't invent.
That's, if anyone's ever had that done, please don't call in and tell me about it, because you're sick. You're sick. People go to, like, Thailand and have it done. They spend thousands of pounds on that. No, that's not a holiday. That's not a holiday. Good evening, Katie.
Hello, sweetheart. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. Hip, hip, hip.
Hurrah!
Huzzah!
How's the elbow?
Yes, it's getting worse.
Oh, really?
But I'm still going to go to the gym, even though I'm thinking about it. It was probably the gym that caused it.
Repetitive strain injury?
Yep.
That's what it could be.
That's what it can be. But no, it really hurts. And but I tell you what it's good for. because I work with Catherine, who is absolutely one of the nicest people we can work with. But sometimes, and she's going to start blushing when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Sometimes she really gets on my nerves. So I've discovered a new trick. When she's really getting on my nerves, or I want to go and play on my Nintendo Switch or listen to music on YouTube.
Yeah.
She'll be talking, I go, oh, my elbow. Yeah. And because she's quite a cold lady, she's not interested in other people's pain.
Cold,
so
right,
she
okay.
turns away, and I go, and then I have a little, Catherine, you're looking like you want to say something there. What is it you want to contribute, please?
Catherine, you're getting quite cross with Iain now.
Catherine? She's looking down.
Iain, can I tell you something?
Looks like she's typing a strongly worded email. I'm hoping that's not to HR. Yes, Katie, you can tell me. Ow.
Iain.
Yes.
I'm a musician, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And I've kind of written you a little bit of a rap tonight.
Oh, God.
I know.
Oh, God.
Am I permitted?
Oh, God, it's going to be awful, isn't it?
Probably.
Here's the thing, because a rap is like a poem, and I hate poems on the radio.
Oh, no.
Aye.
But this is a lovely poem for you.
Well, you've just confessed it's a poem.
Well, no, it's a rap.
Well,
I'm not a rapper, but, you know. If it goes wrong, I will never ring you up again.
Oh, God, because my instinct is saying... let's put the cards on the table. Let's get the Uno cards on the table. My instinct is saying, cut her off now. But...
Well, you've done that before.
Yes, no, that's correct.
But when you don't put the finger up on me, that's all.
Oh, okay. Well, back to Hannah's call. But I'm also acutely aware that we have no other callers. So I tell you what we're going to do. No, I tell you what we're going to do. Is we're going to give it... It's now 11:22 and 14, 15, 16 seconds, right? Mm. Let's give it until 11:24. No, because there's a delay and all that. And if people...
It's not rude. There's no swear words in there or anything.
Yeah. If no one has called in by 11:24 with something better to say, and you and I will be the judge of whether they're better or not. What,
you and me, or you and Garth?
Me and you.
Okay.
Me and me.
Okay.
If no one's called, they've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to do it. 0344 499 1000. If nobody has called in within the next 70 seconds with something that we both agree, Katie, is better than your rap...
I will never say it's better than Iain.
Well, yeah, you never know. Then, yes, I will let you do it. If they do call in and we agree that it's better, then we'll see. So we've got 60 seconds.
Well, now we've got about 60, yeah.
0344 499 1000. Do you think, dear listener...
the desperation in your voice now for somebody to call up.
Yes, it is desperation. Do you think...
Everyone wants me to do the rap.
Well, no, maybe everyone's just switched off because they know there's going to be a rap. 0344 499 1000.
Have you got some... ring it, 'cause you all want to hear the rap.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
No. If they've got 33 seconds, no one's called in yet.
We need to do the rap.
Oh, God. 30 seconds. Here we go. 30 seconds.
But you could just make it up, couldn't you?
What, the phone call?
Could be a...
I would never fake a phone call on this show. What do you think I am? BBC Local Radio? No,
It must be like 10 seconds now, is it?
We've got 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4... Even Paul from Stoke Poges isn't calling in. 3... 2, 1. On your head be it, listener.
Okay,
this is
so
Katie's
this
rap.
It's called Iain Lee. You worked with Donovan, her name was Daisy. Your head right then was a little bit crazy. Paparazzi followed you, didn't let you snooze, taking lots of things. Probably whiskey and booze. 11 o'clock show, sweet and bitter. Now, because of that, you really hate Twitter. Flipping Kath on the chair. She doesn't really listen, and she does really care. Don't put your finger up at me. I'm not being mean. Sorry. Don't put your finger up. I'm not being mean. I'm trying to be a doctor, but not behind the screen. The Tellis elbow is so very sore, but my venom vaccine is quite a bore. Whatever we do, I'm just being me. I'm great. I'm fab. I'm just Iain Lee. Woo! Are you there? We're saying we love you. You've got crap going on. It's great.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Or was that awful embarrassing?
I'll tell you what we'll do.
Yeah, go on.
Well, it was, I thought you said you were a musician. Anyway.
You cheeky bugger.
No, what we'll do, hang on a second. Paul?
Yes?
Where were you when I needed you, man? When I don't need you, I can't get rid of you. When I needed you, you weren't there.
Because I wanted to leave it to the last 10 seconds just to leave you hanging on.
Yeah, was that awfully embarrassing, or was that okay? I was trying to big you up, Ian.
Paul, what did you think of it?
Oh, come on, Paul.
Come on, Paul.
Fair enough. She's allowed to. You heard her out. She did it. That's fair enough.
Hang on a minute. You heard her. She did it. Fair enough. That is the biggest cop out I have ever heard in my life.
What do you mean?
It wasn't the greatest.
It wasn't, but all the things you've been talking about on the radio today,
yes.
about the venlafaxine, which incidentally I've been on, now on duloxetine.
Yes.
Venlafaxine didn't do much for me, but I just thought I'd put it all on a weird rap that obviously maybe worked. I'm not quite sure what you thought of it.
Honestly, I thought it was an excellent effort. I don't like poetry on the radio.
Okay, sorry, Ian. Is her name Katie? Did you say?
I don't know. Why didn't you ask her, Paul?
Is it Katie?
It is Katie, but you've got to really like what I've just done.
Oh. Yeah, I write loads of rubbish all the time.
No, don't say Paul! Don't say that!
It's fine by me.
You've got to come up with something equally as better than that, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, go and beat that,
Paul. 10 minutes, otherwise I win.
Okay, right, a joke then that I wrote yesterday.
Oh, sweet Lord God, this has turned into bloody amateur hour at Batley Leisure Centre.
Go on. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Ready? It's only short.
Yeah. Is it racist?
Go on,
No.
go on.
Oh, that's a shame. Never mind. Carry on.
Chinese food, yeah?
Oh.
We all love Chinese food.
It's going to be a bit racist.
Chinese food should be super healthy, really.
Why is that, Paul?
But the way people in this country, they eat it like it's totally bad for you, because they eat it like fat choy.
That was really rubbish.
I didn't get it.
It wasn't a rap.
They eat it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was hilarious.
The rap was better than that joke. Just.
Yay, thank you.
They eat it like pak choy.
Fat choy, I said.
That what?
Like fat choy.
Yeah, rubbish.
But what does that mean?
Oh, God.
It means nothing. It's not funny.
It's not. It's just what you just said. Words, Paul. Whereas Katie's rap was rubbery. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Finally. Okay. Finally.
Finally.
Right.
Yes.
Funny. The most old famous guy in character in Coronation Street.
Yes.
Does not come from Manchester. He comes from Buckinghamshire.
Is this
his
a
name
joke?
His name is Ken Marlowe.
Paul?
Oh, jeez.
Is your name Paul?
Yes.
Are you on an E?
Am I what?
Are you on an E?
No. Honestly, I don't take any flaming drugs.
Well, maybe you should. Far be it from me to recommend illegal drugs, Paul, but maybe you'd benefit from them. I don't.
So I win, Ian, don't I?
Katie, out of the talent contest between you and Paul, yes, Katie, you win.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Katie. Nice to speak to you, love. Bye-bye.
Take care, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, believe me, Ian, right? You were talking about antidepressants and things like that.
Yes.
Mirtazapine, citalopram, sertraline.
Yep. Oh, I didn't like the sertraline. Gave me the shaky legs.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay.
I've had them all in my life, right?
Oh.
I'm totally connected to you. Yeah.
Well, hang on a minute. Back away from that statement.
All right. Mirtazapine.
Yes.
Sends you to flipping sleep constantly. Yeah.
Well, when you take it, beautiful.
Yeah. No. Just no.
Yes.
You don't.
Yes, I want it to send me to sleep.
Okay, how about some sodium valproate then?
What?
How about some sodium valproate
Why,
then?
you selling?
No.
Huh?
Do you know what you were talking about nuts, yeah? Not your book, but nuts that you eat.
Yes.
Okay, what has helped me recently to help me with side effects from coming off them is eating sesame snaps.
Thanks so much for calling, Paul.
Total truth.
0344. Total truth. Oh, I need to sort out my hotkeys because I really wanted to. Is it this? No, hang on a minute.
Hello, Mark.
No, that's not it.
I forgot to pack my swimsuit.
Nope.
Kazumba.
No.
Just be in bed.
Wait, no, is it?
Are you mad?
Close. Total Truth reminded me of... There it is. This is it.
Find me a boy.
No, it was this.
They've cancelled Brexit.
That's what I meant to play, but imagine it snappier. Here's some ads.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Boy, Lee, do you want to come in and ride this pony with me, huh? 03444991000. You can still call in. If you call in, you'll speak to Emma. She'll take your details. She'll give you a call straight back, guys. How's about that? That could happen. 03444991000 is the telephone number. Periscope's off, Catherine, because as I was downloading a huge file, it crashed the internet.
Yeah, you knocked my internet out as well.
Did I?
Yeah.
Wow.
Repeatedly.
Like an EM burst. What do they call it? No, what's it, the EM bomb? What do they call it? EMP? What is it called? In movies they have it. And it knocks out all of the electrical things. Jack Bauer uses it sometimes in 24, so he can...
Is he downloading monkey stuff as well?
Well, no. Honestly, I can't even say on air what it is, okay? But this is absolute treasure. No one has ever seen... Well, if anyone's seen it, they haven't seen it in 40 years, and they've not seen it outside of New Zealand, and it is amazing.
Caramba.
It is amazing. And I'm sitting here thinking, can we just finish the show up early so I can go and watch this, please, for all that is good and holy. So the doc... Now, I'm so confused with fake news these days. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's fake, and we're not meant to.
That doctor on the plane?
Well...
They've been talking about a different bloke.
Well, now... Have they definitely been talking? Because I read that the doctor on the plane, and he's sexual offences, and he's been bribing people for gay sex and all of this kind of stuff.
I thought it was something to do with drugs.
Yeah, drugs and gay sex are the headlines I read. I believe in the today's Mail.
Not that has anything to do with getting your head bashed against a chair and getting dragged out by you.
Page 9 is missing. Where's the...
No, I brought both in because I couldn't work out which was the complete one and which one wasn't.
Yeah, so page 9 of the Mail. So this doctor, they want to destroy him. Right? Married doctor dragged from US jet was nearly struck off for trading drugs for gay sex. Medic's past revealed. Like it's nothing to do with it, even if he had done that. So, but then I read a thing, again I read it on Twitter, that they got the wrong... It's a different doctor. It's a doctor with the same... name.
Well, not even the same.
But different middle names.
Yeah.
Well, hang on, if the first and last name are the same, we say it's the same name. The middle names, they don't count.
But he's got quite a long Chinese name,
no,
hasn't
he hasn't. That's a bit racist.
It's not being racist.
He's got 4 names. Yeah. It's not a long Chinesey name.
I never said Chinesey.
Well, but the implication was in the tone.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Don't try and stitch me up.
You said...
Don't try and drag me down Chegwin Street.
You said he had a long...
Chinese
Chinaman name.
I never said Chinaman.
Well, you just said it then, and with a little bit of swift editing, I could make you say it.
Not as swift as I am.
I'm not. I'm a terrible editor when it comes to... Anyway, it might be a different man, but I read it on Twitter, so I don't believe anything I read on Twitter.
Well, I just read on Twitter that everyone on that flight is getting reimbursed.
What for?
For having seen that terrible scene.
That's stupid.
Well,
what he needs to do...
They're trying to make it go away, aren't they?
Remember Rex Hupke, who we had on the show? He's from Chicago, and he's a writer, and I think he's so funny. I'm so glad I found him. He wrote a brilliant... Let me find the thing he wrote about... he wrote what the head of United Airlines should come out and say. Where is it? He's so worth... reading anyway. Hang on, bear with me. You sing a little song or something. What's the date today?
The 12th.
Okay, so he tweeted it. Did he tweet it today?
I don't know. You read it?
Yeah, I did read it. Hang on. Here we go. All right. So he wrote a brilliant piece for the Chicago Tribune about what the head of the head of United should say, He says, Mr. Munoz, who is the CEO of United, copy this text, put your name on the bottom and send it out. Trust me, it's your best shot. And it goes like this. This is what he's saying the statement should be from United. Wow. I mean, wow. I screwed this up so bad, I can't even believe it. Everyone's railing against United Airlines, but I'm the boss, and at the end of the day, this is on me. And holy Moses, did I bungle it up. We pulled a dude off a plane. What the hell was that? His mouth got bashed, and the security lugs used his limp body to smooth out the carpet in the aircraft. Holy mother of God, that was bad and mean. Honestly, I don't know what anyone was thinking. I watched the video, and even I was mad at United, and I run United. Offer the guy more money, find another volunteer, heck, rent the flight crew a limo and drive them to Louisville. Do anything, just don't use a passenger's face to test the sturdiness of the jet's armrests. Good freaking grief. So this thing goes viral, and what do? I put out a statement saying we had to reaccommodate some passengers. Reaccommodate? Where did I get that nonsense from? I don't even know what that word means. I don't even think that's a word, for Pete's sake. I just got done mocking those idiots at Pepsi for their wacko Kendall Jenner Black Lives Matter commercial, and what do? Something even more stupid. And it goes on and on and on, and it's just it's so funny. And then he goes, now I'm going to get back to work and make sure we're an airline that doesn't beat the snot out of passengers, and I'll do whatever is necessary to prove United is better than what you've seen this week. Oh, and just so you know, we serve Coke products in our flights, not Pepsi. And I just think it goes on and on. It's so long and it's so funny. And Rex, I think, is such a funny writer.
He is. What a nice guy.
We must come up with an excuse to get him on the show again, because I thought he was brilliant. But yeah, so it may be a different bloke, but it
doesn't matter, does it? What happened to him and what he may have done in his past, completely different things.
No.
And just the fact that they needed that seat does not entitle them to drag his face along the floor.
But then I don't think everyone else should get the compo.
No, that does seem a bit... But they're just trying to make...
No. What they do is that to that guy and his family, they give him a black card, a United card.
Oh, as if he'd ever want to fly with them again.
Well, no. And they offer for the next year, they'll drive him to and from the airport anytime he wants, and he can go anywhere he wants. And if there's first class, I don't know, they don't have it on internal flights, but if he wants to go first class, he can go first class. He goes into the members' lounge.
And they'll promise to let him walk on and off the aircraft on his feet.
On his feet. And that's what I would do if I was that guy.
It was terrible, though, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was terrible. But what was the most terrible thing, of course, was the woman filming it. Filmed it in portrait, not in landscape.
I mean, just to...
When will we learn, guys, that if there is an atrocity happening in front of you, whether it's a terrorist or it's security, just think for a second. I know you want to capture it. Just turn your phones round so it's the same shape as your TV screen.
Not just atrocities, though. Not just atrocities.
Yeah.
Fun things, too.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you've been framed with those little blurry sidebars on.
On the LOL series I do for Channel 5, there's always a tone in my voice when the footage of a cat jumping on a man's head and scratching his eyes out. There's always a snarkier tone in my voice when it's filmed in portrait, not landscape.
And rightly so.
Yeah. I don't even think those people should be allowed on TV. Even if there's only one person who filmed a suicide bomber at the top of the Eiffel Tower, I would say, yeah, it's good footage, but we're going to pass on this because portrait, not landscape.
You muffed it up.
You totally muffed it up. I mean, I don't understand where these people get off thinking that that's acceptable. I mean, unless maybe you go to their homes and their TVs are like that. They're pointing up to the sky.
It's the only answer.
It's got to be. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call. Don't forget to tick your radar diaries. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Absolute treasure. Absolute treasure. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You're more than welcome to. Catherine joins me in the studio.
Yes,
Emma
I do.
is answering the telephones. Have you sorted out your camera troubles? Because you were having camera troubles yesterday. You bought a flash camera.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
It was, but I always had a camera when the kids were really little. I used to take loads of proper photos, and now I take silly ones on my phone.
Get on this Free Prints. Get on the Free Prints app, because I use it and I get these pictures, and then they do one where you get a little they'll do a flimsy book, and it's I think it's $5.99 postage. So for that, you get a little book with pictures. And I took the boys to the Lego exhibition, and my reminder popped up saying, "You still got your this month's free book to claim." Maybe it's $3.99 for the postage. I thought, so I just put all the pictures of the Lego exhibition in it, and I sent it addressed to the boys, so the boys will get a little package, and they go, "Oh, brilliant, fantastic, little treasure." I love it. It's the way forward. What we're going to do in New York. And we're not quite sure how we're going to do it, but we're going to be recording. Some elements of the show will be pre-recorded, okay? So we're going to have bits of the show will still be a phone-in, and we'll be doing it hopefully from coffee shops, from people's houses. We'll be using the studios at WFMU for one of the shows. And there will be an element of phone-in, okay? So you'll be able to phone in. But for that week, it's not going to be the main thrust of the show, okay? So there will be big bits of it that will be pre-recorded. So I think there's a 5-hour time difference. We are 5 hours ahead of New York. So we will be up from about 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, going out, meeting people and interviewing people. Cosmo Kramer is based on in Seinfeld, the Bowery Boys, Imani Coppola. We're going to go out and meet those people and interview them. Then by 3 o'clock, we'll edit that, send it off to Ed. Then at 3 o'clock, we'll be in our location. No, sorry, at 5 o'clock New York time, 10 o'clock here, 5 o'clock there. We'll be in our location and we'll do the show and we'll play in the pre-recorded bits and pieces as we see fit. And we'll periscope it as well while we're doing the show so you can see it. But also, when we go out and we meet Imani and we meet Kenny Kramer, and we meet all of these people, we're going to do a combination of filming bits to put up on Twitter and YouTube and the Facebook page, and also periscoping. So if we're interviewing someone at 10 o'clock in the morning, that is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So just kind of be aware that you might get little dings in the day saying Iain is periscoping. Yeah. And you can watch us talking. Maybe you'll get to see us talking to Steve Guttenberg. There's a couple of other people I've emailed that have said if they're in New York City, they live there. If they're in New York when we're there, they will definitely do it. There's another. So you're gonna. It's going to be more than just a 3-hour radio show. This sounds a bit pretentious, but it isn't pretentious because I mean it. It's going to be more than a 3-hour radio show. It's going to be a kind of interactive experience throughout the day from about, I would say, from about 1 p.m. your time onwards. There will be things on Twitter, there will be periscopes, there will be videos going up. We want you to see as much of what we're seeing as possible, so it's a jolly. There's no two ways around it. We're going to New York for a week and it's going to be brilliant, and we'll see films a month before you do. But we have already, with 2 months to go, we have crammed the days full of stuff, and we want you to kind of share it as much as possible. I heard from 2 guys today who I'm quite excited about. Yes. The ones I wrote to. Oh, yeah. They are the people behind I'mSupported.org, yes. And one of them was a contestant on America's Next Top Model, male. Oh. And he and his friend, who is an ex-soldier, have started this charity up where it's a kind of homelessness charity. Yeah. But this is the guy, I mentioned it the other night. They've started making these shelters for the homeless, people who sleep on the streets, that look like dumpsters. Yeah. But they've got heating and Wi-Fi. Yeah. And solar panels. Catherine's going to stay in one of these for the entire time we are in New York. Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. And I was speaking to the New York Tourist Board today, who are being incredibly helpful. I mean, anyway. And by the way, they sound brilliant guests that you've sorted out, and I'm really looking forward to meeting those guys. And we're going to get to see a bit of New York that other people don't get to see. Well, they're going to introduce us to the guy who lives in the dumpster. So, obviously, Dave C is back. Dave, what happens when you email us? Just send block. There we go. What was I going to... Oh, so the guy from the New York Tourist Board was telling me that Airbnb in New York is technically illegal. Because we were looking at Airbnb because we thought it would be nicer and cheaper to stay there than a hotel. Actually, it probably isn't cheaper because I was just been looking at some hotel prices. But he, so I was talking to the tourist guy and I said, can you point us in the direction of Airbnb? He said, I can't even have a conversation with you about it because it's illegal unless the person who owns the property is staying with you, it's illegal.
Wow.
Which is weird.
Why is that?
I guess it's... Well, a lot of properties in New York are rented.
So they'd be subletting?
Yeah. So I suppose that's it. But I just thought, well, maybe Airbnb should do something about that.
They sure are choosy, considering it's illegal.
Yeah, aren't they just? We've had a couple of knockbacks from people, and the complaint from the first one seemed to be that we were only staying there for 6 or 7 nights, whatever it's 6 nights. And the other guy, I felt suspicious about both of them because they both seemed to want to operate outside of the system.
I just worked it out.
Yeah.
Well, because you told them that we were a radio show.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing something dodgy. If it's illegal in New York, of course they're not going to want to do that.
There we go. There.
That's what it was.
That's what it was, Ian, wasn't it?
Sorry?
Yeah. Hello, Ian.
Hi.
Hello there, Ian.
How you doing? You okay?
Okay, Ian.
Yeah, sorry, right, yeah. I was listening to you talking about properties in New York and whatever, you know?
Yes.
Right. You know, you were talking before about that guy on a plane in America, in Chicago.
Yes.
Don't you think it's a bit strange that he was allowed to get on a plane in the first place?
Which guy's that?
The guy, well, what I'm getting at is, if you know you've got a certain amount of passengers getting on the plane, and you know you've got a certain amount of crew,
yes,
surely you shouldn't allow all the passengers to go on the plane anyway and take the seats up.
Well, you shouldn't oversell flights. That's what they've done.
Exactly.
They'd oversold. Yeah. Yes, they should. No, yes, yes, he should have been allowed on, but no, they shouldn't have oversold the flights. And it's common practice, and it's stupid.
So they've been profiteering on that for years and years and years.
Yes.
So all the compensation that they're giving out is peanuts, really, isn't it?
Oh, well, you say peanuts. I know that as of today, they'd lost $500 million worth of their worth on the stock exchange. So they are crapping themselves.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, but they must have made that over the years by overselling seats anyway.
Yeah, but if your stock drops by $500 million, it don't matter how big you are. That is squeaky bum time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or the only way they can make it worse is if the head of United comes out and says, no, Sean Spicer was right. Hitler didn't use chemical weapons. That's the only way he could have made it worse.
He got somebody else to say that for him, didn't he?
Well, exactly.
But I just can't understand why they're getting crew to take up passenger seats on a commercial business.
It's terrible. It's arrogance and it's terrible. Catherine, you were going to say something?
Well, my sister used to be cabin crew, and I remember whenever they were travelling somewhere, they would be standby passengers. So it would be if there was enough room on the flight. The crew would get a seat if there was enough room on the flight.
Did your sister actually have to pull people off?
Pardon?
Did she, like, in this instance, would she have pulled that man off?
No, they'd taken steps so that there was no one got pulled.
So no one got pulled. I mean, in some ways, it's a way towards recompense, but
yeah, he'd have paid over the odds for that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, exactly, Ian. Thank you very much indeed. I've never been pulled off a plane.
No. But massaged? Have you been massaged?
No, I didn't, because I have travelled first class, and in Virgin, you have a lady comes round, she offers you services.
Yes.
And massage,
manicure,
head massage, shoulder massage, or maybe, no, it's head massage, or foot massage. Anyway, there's 4 options. Remember the 4 options? And I thought, I really want to match. She says, we may not get time to do all of them on the flight. And I thought, I fancy a bit of pampering. I'm not going to choose any of the massages, because everyone will be asking for the massage. So I asked for a manicure. Because I thought, A, I quite like a manicure, and B, there'll be no other blokes asking for a manicure on this plane, so I'm bound to get it. And it just breaks up the monotony of an 8-hour flight. I wasn't paying for the seat, of course. Sky were, which is was always good news. Graham!
Hello.
Hello, Graham.
Hello, Lee. Good evening, everybody. Catherine. The reason I was ringing is because I was thinking that obviously, a wonderful community, because I've listened for a while now.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful community of people.
Yes.
I gathered the college yesterday.
There are some boring callers, though, if we're honest, Graham. I mean, that Paul in Stoke Poges is a knob.
They're not all.
That Paulie Poaches is a boring knob.
Well, I wouldn't say words like that myself.
Okay.
What would you call him?
Bellend?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, everyone's got their own opinions, and you've got to respect them. That's the thing.
You haven't got to.
No.
Well, no, but that's how
I wish Paul didn't have an opinion, and then we wouldn't have to hear him.
Oh, yes. I mean, you could always not answer the phone.
What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, me again.
Go on, Graham.
Well, I'm looking forward to your little trip and your podcast and so on. And did you know, because I've done a little research like I did with the religion, and if you keep your show going, you're only competing with 20% of the podcasts on iTunes.
Hang on, say that again. We do the what now?
When you podcast, if you keep going,
yes,
you're only competing with 20%. Because 80% of the podcasts on iTunes give up and don't bother and not regular.
Is it? Where did you get those statistics from?
It's marvellous. Is that Google?
Is that? Oh, well, Google doesn't exist in between the hours of 10 and 1. But if that's true, that I can kind of understand that. I had a little prune. I had a couple of other podcast feeds that I got rid of. I cancelled them at the weekend because a wonderful gentleman called Matthew has put together the Iain Lee Vault. Nothing to do with me, but I've sent him some bits and pieces. But he's put together the Iain Lee Vault, right? And it is pretty much everything I've ever done on the radio and in podcast. It's nearly all of the LBC shows, nearly all of the Absolute shows, nearly all of the 3CR shows and the 3CR podcasts, all of the WM shows, weird little silly things I did like the Shindiggery podcast and the Pocket Radio show. I think someone has sent him all of the MSN things, all of the Lost podcasts, Iain and Watco's Important Target. It's all there. It's incredible the amount of work that young man has put in. And do you know how much money he wanted for it, Graham?
Go on.
Not a penny.
Well, that's lovely. Is he fan?
Is it?
It seems a bit excessive.
It is actually a bit excessive. A bit weird, actually, now you mention it.
I wonder if he's got pictures of you in his bedroom.
Yeah, actually, now I think about it, I'm going to ask him to take it down. Yeah, no, it's a bit weird, Graham. I'm glad you highlighted that. Thank you. Bit excessive.
It's probably what it is. He's probably just got your eyes cut out in a box under the bed.
Oh, blimey.
With a hole in the mouth.
Oh.
Yeah. Exactly, and he's making that noise. Thank you, Graham. Yes, Paul?
Okay, right. Something says what you were talking about Sesame Street earlier.
Did you just say, OK, right, something sensible, you were just talking about Sesame Street?
you were talking about Sesame Street earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's another rhetorical question. Go. Yes.
Right, I've not Googled, right? Two things I remember about Sesame Street is a great jazz drummer, probably the greatest drummer that's ever lived, called Buddy Rich, played...
He's not the best. He's not the best drummer.
Well, Buddy Rich?
Yeah, Buddy Rich is not the best drummer.
You know Buddy Rich, right, yeah?
I know Buddy Rich. I've heard the tape of him on the bus slagging off his band. But no, he's not the best drummer.
I don't know if he's still alive, actually, but...
Doesn't matter. That wasn't the question. I know the best alive drummer. He's not the best drummer. Shall I tell you who is?
Well, the best alive drummer today?
No, it doesn't matter if they're alive or dead. Why have you brought that into the conversation?
Okay,
I will tell you a drummer better than Buddy Rich.
Go on.
Gene Krupa.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I totally got you there, Paul. Gene Krupa is 1,000,000 times better than Buddy Rich. And Buddy Rich is good. Krupa's better.
Okay, yeah, God, you know Krupa. Oh, Jesus.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes, I know drummers. Don't sound so surprised, I don't think. Garth in Bridgnorth, Shropshire. Stay there. We'll come to you after the news, because I'm going to give you a fair crack of the whip. Why is everyone surprised that I know stuff? Why is everyone
You've got one of those faces.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that was an insult, but I'm going to turn it back on you, because I'm clever like that. I've got a dumb face, but in my brain is... Ooh. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. I'm reminded of my trials and tribulations with my former energy supplier today. I'll tell you that in a bit. We've got people waiting, though. 0344 499 1000. We've spoken about drummers. We've spoken about Sesame Street. We have spoken about New York. We have talked about all kinds of things. And it's you know the score now. I know we're getting new listeners all the time. And some of the old ones are going and some of the new ones are coming, and that's wonderful, and that's the nature of these things. But you can call in about absolutely anything you want. Garth was waiting, wasn't he? Good evening, Garth.
Good evening, Iain Lee. How the devil are you?
I'm very, very well, Garth, thank you.
Oh, great.
Have we spoken before?
No, I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, I just thought I recognised your voice, the slightly limp-sounding voice, but OK, that's great.
How dare you?
Oh?
Just a quick question for you, Iain.
Yes, Garth.
Am I safe disposing of nail clippings down the toilet?
Nail clippings down the what, sorry?
The toilet.
One more time?
Toilet.
The toilet?
Yeah.
I don't know what a toilet is. It's an Irish toilet. He's saying a toilet. Toilet.
Yeah, OK, yeah, the lavatory.
OK. Why do you ask?
Where else could I possibly put them?
On the bedside table? Or do what I do with nail clippings, and excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, but we talk openly about all kinds of issues. Bogeys is I just lie in bed and I flick them as far as I can, and as long as they don't land on the wall, I'm happy.
No, it's very, very queer that you mention bogeys.
Yes.
Because why is it only some kids that pick their nose and eat it?
I've never, ever eaten it. I cannot think of much that... Catherine's gone for 5 minutes and we're talking about bogeys. You're the steadying hand on the tiller. You hold the barrel steady as we all jump in one at a time. No, I don't know. I've never eaten a bogey in my life. Have you?
Yeah, come on, everyone has.
No, I haven't. I genuinely haven't.
My youngest can't stop.
Pick it, flick it. Never.
Oh,
I've
really?
never eaten one. No.
Salty. That's all
We
I
had
say.
joy. We had fun flicking bogeys at the sun, but the sun got too hot and the bogeys turned to snot. You ever heard that?
No.
Oh, that's good.
That's a belter. My youngest has always got a finger up her nose.
Oh, I'm always having a good route around, but they get flicked or they get wiped under the car seat, if I'm completely honest.
Wow.
And then when there's enough there, I sell the car and move on. That's when I know. Garth, have you got an over-accumulation of nail clippings then?
I've been flushing them down the toilet quite regularly.
Down the...
toilet.
Mm.
But I just am fearful that I might be causing some disruption to the U-bend.
Well... You're not... Here, let's compile...
How long are these clippings?
Let's compile a list.
Oh, they're about 7/16.
Oh, blimey.
Let's compile a list of things that should definitely not be flushed down the toilet.
My dad...
You definitely should not be flushed down the toilet.
My dad puts, like... sloppy food. Sloppy food puts down the toilet.
No.
And I only realised... It's one of those things I didn't realise wasn't normal until I lived in a shared house and I did it one night. And someone went, oh, someone's thrown a load of chili con carne down the toilet. I was thinking, well, it's too sloppy for the bin.
It's not chili. No. Nappies, of course. Wet wipes. Although I think you can get away with one every now and then.
Oh, don't put kitchen roll down it.
Again, once in a while is fine, but why? Pourquoi? Yati?
Well, my friend... my friend used to be a barman at a local pub.
You hesitated there? Was it
I was going to say barkeep, but that's more Wild West, isn't it?
Barkeep?
Yeah, barkeep.
A barkeep? That's wild English. That's nothing. It's not even a word.
Anyway,
barkeep.
Barman. And one night he said, oh, there's no loo roll left. I said, well, just use these, like paper towels.
Yeah. Well, how many did he shove down there?
Well, it was like a big, like...
Well, you shouldn't have shoved that many down.
No,
he
left them there for people to wipe with.
Oh.
And it ended up being, well, hellish.
No, let's not... Come on, guys.
It was awful.
Come on, guys. We're better than this.
Well, anyway. Well, if you're going to bring up toilets...
I didn't bring up toilets. Garth brought up toilets.
I did. Yeah. Back to the point. Can I flush my toenail and fingernail clippings down the toilet? Yes or no?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. One more question, Iain, and to Kath.
Yes.
Separately.
Okay.
Are farts funny?
I have 2 children, 7 and 5, and they are absolutely hilarious.
But some are beyond a joke. You know what I'm talking about, really antisocial ones. That's not funny.
Why, Garth? Have you just let one rip?
One more question, please. Is there a funnier word than manhole?
Flange.
Bobble.
Now, I'm not racialist, but...
Thanks for calling, Garth.
I like women with big knockers.
Okay, but I should have cut him off. Sorry, I thought he was going to I thought he was going to do the. I thought he was going to do the decent thing and put the phone down. Sorry if anybody.
No, he went there. He took it there.
I'm sorry.
If anyone with small knockers is offended by that, then I mean,
get a Wonder Bra or some chicken fillets or just some tissue
no, it's
paper.
just trickery. Just love yourself. It doesn't matter.
No,
doesn't matter.
Work harder.
Do you know what? Some are too big. You can have too big.
Oh God, I remember going out with a girl who's was
her name Norma?
No, don't be so rude. Her initials were LSD because her parents were hippies, and she was a delightful young lady, but I would say too big in the breasticles.
Too big for what? Her or
no, for me.
Oh.
I mean, I could have had an eye out. I know for some people that is integral. But for me, that's not the key factor when I'm looking for a romantic partner.
Some of my friends have got enormous ones and they wish they didn't because it gives you backache.
Yeah.
You have to wear bigger tops than you'd like to.
Backache, neckache, some as big as your head, as they say. Good evening, Simon.
Hey, you all right, Ian?
Do you prefer the large breast or the smaller French breast?
Large when they're... No, I don't know. I like a medium size.
A medium size.
The Goldilocks area.
No, because she was a child.
No, what I
that
mean
is
is just...
totally inappropriate what you've just said. All right, Stuart Hall.
Oh my God!
Flipping it! I'm so sorry, Simon. You have to listen to that. I do not condone that sort of language and that sort of locker room banter on this show. We're better than that. Making pedo jokes. Unbelievable. Yeah,
I just meant, just right.
You reference a young girl. Outrageous. Simon, let's ignore that. Let's rise above it and let's continue.
Apologies.
Right, well, actually, that might be one of the little things I want to bring up. Do you mind if I bring up 3 topics? I've been on holiday for a few weeks and I've been listening to the podcast, but I was in Cambodia and the time zone was crap, so I couldn't really phone in.
What's the time difference in Cambodia?
So many things I wanted to phone in about.
What's the time difference in Cambodia then? I don't know.
They're 6 hours ahead, so it would have been. I would have had to log on at 7 in the morning.
That's ridiculous.
Not on your holidays.
That's not having a holiday.
That's inappropriate. Simon, let's just say we have no other calls lined up, so fill your boots.
Perfect. Well, the first one is actually a sort of request. I don't know if you could actually ask or if I can do it on the line. I was the one that played at your last performance ring, but the camera cut out.
Oh, yes, it did. Now. Did the camera cut out, or did someone kick it over?
Oh.
I've got a feeling I might have kicked it over.
Thank you.
I can confirm that happened.
And you were yay close to getting an excessive repair bill for my iPhone lens. The only thing that prevented me from handing you that bill was that it was not actually damaged. No. But
you were mentally drawing it.
Oh God! Oh gosh! So yes, you came and you sang some excellent songs, excellently, including The Littlest Hobo. But you took it upon yourself to follow that rock and roll attitude of smashing up the place, but you foolishly did it before you started instead of at the end of your set.
Well, there was no drum kits to smash up.
No. So you smashed up my phone. But yes, go on.
Yeah. Well, if anyone has a video of that was in the crowd, I'd love to see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you know what? There might be, because send me a tweet, Simon, asking for it, and I'll retweet it.
Nice one. All right, sweet. Yes. Well, the other topics. You got your...
That doesn't technically count as a topic. Hang on, you begging for footage. You prevented from being filmed in the first place. It's not a topic. That sounds like greed to me.
That's more of a plug and a request. Sorry exactly. about that. Well, as long as the phone's all right, then I can sleep easy.
Good. I'm glad you're taking.
You worried all the way through Cambodia about that, didn't you?
Yes, he did. It would have ruined his holiday. I'm good. I'm glad it did. Anyway, go on.
Right. Well, you said you got this Sega that you ordered that you've got at your place. Is it the Saturn?
No, it's the Nintendo GameCube.
The GameCube. That's it.
And I'm selling it again.
Have you heard of the Raspberry Pi?
Yes, I have.
I've just turned one of mine into a 6,000 games, 8 console gaming machine for about 80 quid. And it's a good project for you and your kids.
Hang on. But you're talking about the Sega Saturn you've done this to?
I've got all of them, yeah. Sega Saturn, right back to Commodore 64.
No, but hang on. So what? You've turned a Raspberry Pi into a gaming thing?
Yeah. So you get the little motherboard, and it's got all the USB ports, etc.
Yes.
And what you do is you copy, like you get these emulators online.
Yes.
You just basically copy that onto it, and then there's this thing called Retro Pi that you install, and you get some USB controllers, and you can literally have every single game from the 80s up until now on one little device.
Well, here's what I used to do. Just indulge me for 2 more minutes, Catherine, then we'll do a phone-in about, I don't know, bums again.
Can we do kittens?
I bought a Dreamcast, right? And the Dreamcast is the best console of all time. It's not locked. That means you can watch DVDs from anywhere in the world. Also, it means you can download emulators off of the internet, burn them onto a disc, put them into the Dreamcast, and they can emulate any machine up to a Dreamcast, including Atari 2600, SNES, and Spectrums.
Question.
Yes.
Is this legal?
Yes, it's not illegal.
Okay.
Simon, thank you. I believe you had a third point you wanted to make. Let's try and make it a little bit less geeky.
Okay. Well, actually, there's one thing I did. You were having that little phone-in about knobs you were going to do with the guy who lost his limb.
Yes.
How about flaps? Fingers, limbs, and parts severed.
Oh, someone came up with a good one. About... Oh, no, the Tupperware one was that was KLITS, wasn't it? Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah.
No. It's Simon. Yeah, it's descended. It's descended again. Can we, for the last 45 minutes, can we descended?
What's he doing on holiday? Just thinking up filth.
In Cambodia.
I know. Filth.
What? I don't know anything about Cambodia. Khmer Rouge?
I know the French call it Cambodge.
Did the French used to own it?
A bit, yeah.
Khmer Rouge.
Indochine,
what does that mean?
Something.
They were the
something red.
Yeah, it would do. That was Pol Pot, Khmer Rouge, Cambodia, year zero. Year zero was when I think I've got this. This isn't Ethiopia, is it? I think this is, okay, Google doesn't exist. Google doesn't exist, don't Google.
I'm not Googling.
This is, okay, so, if someone says to me, right, Iain, you've got to present a lecture about Cambodia now. No time for research. I go, okay, yeah, fine, I can do that.
Arrogance.
In the late 1960s, there was a thriving Cambodian musical movement where lots of beat groups started. They got British and American music, and they recorded their own versions of it. It's not very good, but it's quite famous. Then in 1971, Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge came to power via a military coup, and they decreed year zero. And what that meant was they killed all of the artists, the intellectuals, the professors, the teachers, anybody with any education, and they suppressed the education.
People who wore glasses.
And they were executed, and there are many, many thousands of mass graves of these people that just disappeared in an attempt to wipe out any form of intellectual betterment of themselves. Any questions?
I've got a question.
Yes.
So who was left?
Workers. Yeah, the workers. It was like ultra extremist communism.
So just utilitarianism then?
Yes. I would say if anybody knows any better, 0344 499 1000. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that I was right, as I quite often am. Fitz is calling. We'll come to you, Fitz, after these ads.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. No one's called in to challenge my knowledge of Cambodia, so
that goes into the history books.
It does. Fitz is on the line. Evening, Fitz.
Iain, is that you?
Excuse me?
Is that you?
Is that you?
Is that you, Iain?
Yeah, Fitz, have you called before?
No, first time caller.
Okay, just your voice sounded vaguely familiar, but okay, go on, mate. What have you got for us?
Just one sec. Mum, I'm through. Hang up. What it is...
Was that your mum on the line upstairs?
No, she's...
we've been trying to get through all night, and I just told her I'm through now.
It's been very, very busy on the phones this evening. Very busy.
I know. What I wanted to ask you, Ian, was what's the difference between a gig and a concert?
That's an excellent thing. Excellent question. I've got a friend called Simon.
It is an excellent thing, yeah.
Who's in a band, but says he's always playing a concert. He always calls it a concert, and I like that. I don't know. I guess a concert is bigger in a bigger venue and more grand, and a gig is in a sweaty little back room somewhere in Camden.
Have you ever played a concert, Ian?
I've yes, many, many times. I've played some of the finest theatres in the world.
Oh. Have you ever been to a gig or a concert?
Yes.
And left before the end?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever left before the start? Because I have.
Tell us more, Fitz.
Well, I was out with my friends to go to see a well-known singer, but we shouldn't really talk. I won't say his name because it'll darken the airwaves. But
Gary Glitter.
You've got it in one.
There we go. Ooh, a little giggle there, a little glitter giggle.
You're on fire, mate. You're on fire.
Yes.
So we went to see his Christmas special.
His Christmas gang show.
Yeah. And we all had our rubber fingers, the spongy fingers.
The spongy fingers, like that in Gladiators, yes.
Yeah. And before we came on, we had a...
I can't touch sponge. The sponge that those fingers are made from, I've never worn one of those fingers, and I can't, because I can't touch that sponge. It sets my teeth on edge. It's like biting into toothbrush or pulling cotton wool.
So what happened when you went to see Gladiators being filmed?
I didn't, but my sister worked on Gladiators, and she tells me it's one of the most miserable experiences of her life.
She's called Jet.
Yes. Diane Udale.
That's Jet.
That's Jet. That was the name of a spin-off sitcom, which only lasted 3 episodes, I think.
Sad.
So, back to the concert.
Do you remember when Rio Ferdinand had a hidden camera trick show?
No.
Rio Ferdinand had because he was always seen as a joker. Oh. And he had a secret camera trick show where he would do tricks on other famous footballers.
Oh, like Punked.
Yeah. But with Rio Ferdinand's Punked.
Oh dear.
If he wants to do a trick, he should do something with his top lip.
I just can't comment on the poor gentleman's facial features. We all have our...
It needs folding and ironing.
Here we go. Okay. So, Fitz, Gary Glitter, and you had a foam finger.
Yes. And there was a security guard stood in front of us pre-Glitter arrival. And we were very enthusiastic glitterites, and we were doing the famous chant, leader, leader, leader. Yeah, you got it. With the sponge finger right in the back of the security guard. And after the third or fourth time, he turned around and he said, "One more and you're out."
Oh!
So, before we turned round, we were back at and he turned round and he grabbed my index finger.
Now, your real one or your foam one?
Sponge.
Yes.
And he ripped the end right off.
Oh, that's uncalled for.
And my friend, Alex, he threw his pint over the security guard.
Oh dear. This is escalating.
Tell me about it. Yeah. And then the security guard, I don't know his name.
No.
He got on his CB and he called his fellow cohorts to round us up.
Back up.
You were rounded up at a Gary Glitter concert. Still could have been worse.
Could have been far worse.
At which point we legged it appropriately.
Yes.
And it was Christmas, it was Christmas. Yes. So we ran out the auditorium.
Yes.
And we were, let's say, egging the security guards to chase us a little bit.
Duncan Norvell, yes.
They got to chase me, yeah. Yes. They got to the exit, and they stopped chasing us.
Yeah.
We tried to beckon them a little more. They wouldn't. So
their jurisdiction stops at the exit. Once they're out on the street, that's it. They're just big fat ball blokes. Inside, they're the masters of their own domain.
Well, that's what we were planning on, but when we found a large Christmas tree outside the auditorium with light bulbs attached and proceeded to unscrew them.
Oh, God, no!
Throw them at the
No! That is now, come on, you could have someone's eye out.
That's public order offence.
They chased us all the way to the train station.
God, I hope they gave you a good kick-in as well.
No, the train was on time for once, so we got away.
Oh!
But we did miss the show.
Well, it's a shame because he put on a good show, but you deserved... you can't throw light bulbs at people. But thanks for that trip down your memory lane, Fitz.
You are most welcome, Ian. Most welcome.
Can I ask one thing?
Can you ask two things?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Okay. Radiant.
And can you just say the word toilet for me?
Tyler?
Get off.
Busted.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can think of 3 gigs I've left before they finished. Liza Minnelli, even though it cost us 250 quid a ticket. It was on telly money then. I think I had a migraine, and my girlfriend had a migraine, and it was a little bit dull. David Cassidy, back in the dark days, and I needed to get home and medicate. And the Beach Boys in about 2006, because my views on the Beach Boys then were slightly different to what they are now. And there were 11 men on stage. I knew only 2 of them, and they started in Good Vibrations, and I went, "This is rubbish. Let's get out. I'm not listening to this rubbish, urinating over history." Now, I was not so pompous and full of myself. I think those are the only gigs that I've left halfway through. I think
I've never left one because I'm grateful for the performers.
No, I know, I know, yeah.
And also, tickets are expensive.
Well, yeah, tickets are so expensive these days. I told you I took the boys to see the Twits. So it was a play for kids, and the 4 of us, it was 100 quid for a kids show, and it was a big set, and it was a big cast, but I just thought, it was a lovely theatre, really nice theatre in Kingston, I think it was. Really nice theatre, but I thought 100 quid. I thought, I'm lucky enough that I can afford 100 quid. But even I was wincing a bit at it.
There was one concert I wish I could have left halfway through.
Yeah.
It was the Paul Simon concert, Rhythm of the Saints tour,
Oy.
Birmingham NEC.
Uh-oh.
Not because of Paul Simon,
Echoey.
He was delightful.
Very echoey.
No, he had this support guy on who since died a couple of years ago.
Oh.
Michael something.
Bublé.
He was like Kenny G, but with a clarinet rather than a sax.
Okay, yep.
And he didn't half go on.
Yep.
And I would have left had it have not been for the fact that I was 11 and my mum was driving.
If you'll be my bodyguard, I'm gonna be a long lost pal.
It was a good concert once Paul Simon came on. At one point he broke a nail though, he had to go off and have it repaired.
A fingernail?
Yeah.
What ponce?
He mustn't use a pick.
Here's the thing. He's too African. I don't like his African stuff.
Oh, I like it.
I don't like the African stuff. I like the only bit I like a bone digger. That's the only bit. The rest of it's too African.
But some of it
I don't like African music. And do you know what? If it makes me a racist to say that, then so be it. I am a massive racist.
You know that one? Well, I'm accustomed to a smooth ride.
No.
And maybe I'm a dog has lost his... That one.
No.
I think that's more salsa than it is
She's got
African.
diamonds on the soles of her feet.
Shoes.
So what? Who cares? I mean, rubbish, boring. But the Gracelands album is rubbish.
liked it.
The Rhythm of the Saints album is
I
rubbish.
liked
I've
it.
not heard either of them, if I'm completely honest, but I know that they're rubbish. And anybody that tries to do African music, even Africans, they're pushing it. I told you when I went to see Cat Stevens, right? Shepherd's Bush Empire, got the tickets, cost me £200 a ticket, right? First gig he'd done since 1979, okay? Because he stopped playing music for ages, because when he became a Muslim, or as my mum says, he went a bit funny, he took the words of Allah, literally, and he interpreted it as meaning no guitars. So he stopped playing music. And then he kind of, managed to work a cheat out. Yeah, it worked a cheat out. And the most returned record, when I worked at HMV, the most returned record in whatever year it was the Beatles released Free as a Bird, 1996 or 7. And Cat Stevens, or Yusuf Islam, released his first album since 1979. And so it sold like hotcakes. It was returned like hotcakes. It's like,
But is that because everyone was taping it and bringing it back?
No. It's because everyone thought it was going to be ambient, all the ambient, boom, all that kind of stuff. It wasn't. It was an album about Allah.
Oh.
I think it was called A is for Allah. There's your clue, guys. It was returned like it was a hotcake smeared in dog turd. Honestly. But he's released a couple of albums since that are brilliant. Actually brilliant. I love Cat Stevens. But we went and saw him. So it's his first gig in years. And Shepherd's Bush Empire, so it's a nice, I think it was Shepherd's Bush, it's quite a small venue, and we got quite close up. And it was for a week celebrating 50 years of Island Records, okay? So, the opening act was somebody. Then the second act was some famous African guy, Bamba Makatoba, or something like that. He had lots of A's and some K's in his names. Quite famous. Boring. Boring. Jeez, it was boring. And I'm thinking, the longer this guy goes on, the less we're going to get of Cat Stevens. It went on, and everyone was loving it. My girlfriend and my wife, we were, jeez. And he said, right, I'm not going to do the voice. I'm going to do one more song, then Yusuf's going to come on. Yeah. But before I do this last song, I want to bring out some special guests.
Oh.
Would you please welcome to the stage? This is a tiny little venue. Bono and The Edge. And I'm thinking, oh, Jesus. So it's bloke doing African music with half of one of the worst bands in the world. And then Bono and The Edge aren't going to come out and do one song. Everyone's going, whoa, yeah, it's half of you do. And then to make it even worse, right? Imagine this, and you know me, so you know how bad this is already. To make it worse, they then started doing Bob Marley songs. Oh. You too, doing Bob Marley, it went on for ages.
They had a wander around your mind and found the things that would trigger you the most.
And everyone's going, yeah, and I'm thinking, oh, flip it. And everyone's going, and I got an elbow in the ribs from my missus, because, I got an elbow in the rib because I was going, less! Oh, it was awful. Well, Emma, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take some more calls. 0344 499 1000, Late Nights with Iain Lee.
Late Night Iain Lee.
On air and off the loop.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Good evening, Garth.
I've got a comprehensive list of films and songs that have got the same name. Do you want to hear it?
Why have you got that list?
Because it's intriguing.
All right, I tell you what. Let's turn this into a game.
Yeah, let's play.
You go first, I'll go second, Kath goes third, we go round, okay? So we're playing films that have the same name as songs, poker.
Deal.
You go first.
Grease.
Help.
Stand By Me.
Car Wash.
A Hard Day's Night.
Pretty Woman.
Man in Black.
Rocky theme.
No.
What? It's called Rocky.
Get out of it.
No, hang on. All right.
All right, me and you, Kath.
No, hang on. I'm still in.
Whoa.
Hang on.
My game.
All right, fair play. It's you and Kath. Go on.
When a Man Loves a Woman.
What film is that?
It's with Meg Ryan and
No, that's Sleepless in Seattle.
Michael Greco. No, not Michael Greco. Was it? Well, she's an alcoholic.
Michael Greco from EastEnders. Pepe.
It wasn't Michael Greco.
Is she out?
What's he called?
She doesn't need to think of.
It's called When a Man Loves a Woman. It was
Okay.
where Meg Ryan's an alcoholic.
Okay.
Those magnificent men in their flying machines.
Singing in the Rain.
Stand by me.
Yeah, she just said
Stand
that.
by me.
You're
I
out.
win.
You're out. You're out. I thought you had
to say stand by me.
Yes, she did. Right, first one, second one.
No.
Yeah.
Chew on that, Garth.
Thank you very much, Garth.
You lost. What was it called?
I don't know.
Andy Garcia,
Oh.
not Michael Greco.
I can see. Now, isn't that funny? I was thinking about Andy Garcia a lot today.
Why?
Because I was remembering. Isn't it funny the thoughts that just pop into your head? And for some reason, the ending of The Godfather Part 3
Yeah.
popped up into my head. I don't know why. And the ending is, spoiler alert.
Rubbish is what it is.
It's
It's not as good as it.
Yeah, I mean, Godfather Part 3 is awful, but it is. Al Pacino has seen his daughter being murdered, and the ending is that he then lives for another 40 years and dies as a very old man. So the ending is a long shot of him sat in a chair outside in the garden, and he just goes, ooh, and that's it. So I thought about the ending, and then I worked backwards, and I thought about because is it Sofia Coppola in it?
Yes.
And,
she was the daughter in it, wasn't she?
Yes. And is it Andy Garcia?
She marries him in it.
Yeah. And I thought, why would anyone cast Andy Garcia in the lead role of a film? Especially one that was as anticipated as The Godfather Part 3.
He was big, though. He was in the Brat Pack, wasn't he?
He wasn't big. He was bubbling under. He wasn't big. It was never, there's a new Andy Garcia film. Now, who's Adam Garcia, his brother? Well, who is he, though?
Don't know. I don't know of an Adam Garcia.
I think there's an Adam Garcia as well that's his brother. But it was never like, the new Andy Garcia film is out. We must go and see that one, guys. That was never, a thing. Who is Emilio Estevez, his brother? Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
And their dad is Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
And who's his dad?
It's the same dad.
No, who is Martin Sheen's dad? Martin Sheen has a dad, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think Martin Sheen's real name is Estevez.
So, are Charlie Sheen and Estevez, do they have the same mummy as well?
Don't think so.
Just the same daddy. I don't know why I'm saying that. So, Martin
like how
Sheen
you were gentle.
Martin Sheen is Estevez.
Yeah. I think, although I can't Google it, which is maddening.
Is Charlie Sheen still batshit crazy?
Well, yeah,
Yellow
but
card.
kind of understandable.
Well, no, but because is he still Tiger's blood and he's HIV now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's come out not completely as under his own volition because he was about to be exposed, wasn't he?
But is he still like?
And when I say come out, I mean as HIV positive.
All right, look at you getting worried about libiling someone.
No,
who's
it's fine.
bonkers.
He won't care.
He probably has. If you're doing that much drugs,
He's got no teeth, has he?
Has he not? That's a shame. That everyone was enjoying that when he went crazy in the Tiger's blood and stuff. It was obvious he was doing these
dealing
interviews.
with some stuff.
Well, he's doing these interviews and he was bright yellow and waxy. And it's like, well, he's crack. He's doing crack all the time. I got very little pleasure. I got a bit of pleasure at the start. Then when I realised actually he was killing himself, I got no pleasure from watching a gentleman put himself through that. That was thoroughly unpleasant, and I've someone should have taken him to one side and said, "Come on, man, let's go away for a few months. Let's go and sort this out." 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You're very, very welcome to do such a thing. Now, the phone's always got a little bit quieter this time, and that's absolutely fine.
School holidays as well. Everyone's absolutely shattered.
Oh, everyone's away as well. In the gym class I was in today, there was no one there. No one there. And the gym classes, everyone's so quiet. Right, so I'm the only one that talks in them. Okay, guys, are you ready to start?
Guys?
So I go, yep. And then you do the exercises, and I wanted to puke today, and she goes, right, OK, we ready for the next set? Silence. I go, yeah, I'm ready. And everyone looks at me, and I'm like, well, come on, man, we're supposed to pretend that we're sort of American and enjoying this. Let's get involved. Stop being so embarrassed. Here's the thing. I realise I look like an overweight, out-of-shape, middle-aged man, because that's what I am. So I'm going, yep, come on. And I'm making jokes when we're doing the last set. Right, this is the last set, then we're going to stop. And I'm going, what? Really? I thought this was just the warm-up. That's a little bit of fun banter.
Yeah.
A little bit of fun banter.
Mm-hmm. They don't appreciate it.
And then also, the other day, she said something, and I went, she said, we could do it with the weight, but I won't do it with the weight. I'll be kind. I said, no, let's do it with the weight. And everyone's going,
oh wow. You're like that mature student at university where everyone's ready to go and we've got our backpacks on and we're already planning what we're going to be ordering down the pub within 10 minutes. And then there's the 40-year-old at the back who's funding his own way through university and knows why he's doing it. It's completely motivated. He says, one more question. We'll have to put our bags down.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm coming here because I want to lose a bit of weight and get in shape. So if you think that we might be able to take it a little bit harder, then do you know what? Yeah, I'll have it a little bit harder, play. I'm going to keep doing it until I drop because I want to. There's no point doing it and going.
Those losers.
I hate people. So what makes a happy retirement? I don't quite know. Britain's older
big pots of cash.
Britain's older generations are enjoying happy retirement, and it's down to regular sex.
Oh, God.
And having no alarm clocks keeping them young at heart. What? I don't. Well, 8 out of 10 pensioners who expressed a preference told a survey they are happy with one of the biggest benefits seems simply having time to potter about. I can't wait to retire. Oh, you'd be bored? No, not at all. Of course I won't be bored. No. I've got loads of books. I've got so many books to read. It will keep me busy from here until this time next year. Got so many DVDs still in their cellophane. I've got loads to do. I have got loads to do. So I wouldn't be bored. There we go. So here's what makes a happy retirement. Not having to wake up to an alarm clock. I don't.
No.
Sometimes
I've got children.
Yeah. Spending time outdoors. Having entire days to yourself. Oh.
I had one of those today. Felt very naughty.
Oh, imagine. Keeping the house and garden in good order. Boring.
Forget that.
Yeah, go on. That's it. Just take a break, then we'll do this list. And bloody Paul in Stoke Poges wants to come back. If you want to stop Paul in Stoke Poges having triple bubble, then call in. And the more calls we get, we won't get any, the less time there is for him, OK? 0344 499 1000, all right?
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. We asked you to call in to stop Paul in Stoke Poges getting triple bubble, and Hannah has called in.
Yeah, I want double bubble.
Well, but it's got to be worth it.
Yeah, well, you spoke on balls, and I spoke on balls, and we spoke on bum holes.
Oh, God.
I want to speak about willies now.
Thanks very much for calling. Paul!
Gosh.
Right, you thought you did me earlier. I thought of another one about Sesame Street, an even greater percussionist.
What? It's taken him literally an hour to try and beat me in the naming of the great drummer stakes.
It's not about me. I've just thought of an even greater percussionist that was on Sesame Street once, Evelyn Glennie, and she's totally deaf as well, isn't she?
Yeah, but we weren't talking about percussionists.
Well, a drummer is a percussionist.
No,
She's a drummer as well.
No, they're not. They're completely different. Completely different things altogether. So
okay, we'll look up Evelyn Glennie playing the drums.
Well, I know Evelyn Glennie. I know of her work, and but we were talking about great drummers.
Yeah, and
percussion is a completely different.
I still think Buddy Rich is the best.
What's the word I'm trying? What's the word?
Different discipline.
Discipline. Thank you. It's a different discipline. So you're wrong, Paul. You're wrong. You've wasted your triple bubble.
Okay, finally, can I say you didn't?
No, you can't. No, boring. So this is what the list of what makes a happy retirement. 5 minutes of the show, guys, if you want to call in. And I've just had an email from a guest who wants to join us in New York City.
gonna be good.
Wowzers. I mean, oh, man alive. What? Having time to read, yes. I miss being able to read.
Yeah, I haven't read properly for ages.
Going for a day out midweek. Well, see, we don't work proper hours, so a lot of this stuff kind of applies. Eating healthily, no. Sitting in the garden with a glass of something. Gardening.
Actually, do you know what? I quite like it once I get down to it.
You love getting on your hands and knees in the dirt.
Yep.
Taking up a hobby.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean anything.
I'm very good
though.
at taking them up, not very good at keeping them up.
Again, are we talking about you getting down on your hands and knees, getting dirty?
No, we're talking about hobbies.
Are we talking about you getting dirty out the back?
Oh, for heaven's sakes. You really are a pervert. You tickled yourself, which everyone thought was impossible.
I've shot myself.
What else you did to yourself, so why would you think that was massive stretch?
I have, again, massive stretch. I have shot myself with just how far I can take this. 3 holidays, mini breaks every year, enjoying a glass of wine with friends. A lot of these involve boozing.
Yeah.
Eating out twice a month.
Pensioners do booze a lot, though.
Oh,
I spent my
God.
21st birthday at the Ladies' Circle with my grandma, right?
Yeah.
I was on work experience in Warrington, and so
Yes.
I was staying with my
In
grandma.
Don Warrington.
No, in Warrington.
Don Warrington.
No, Warrington.
Don Warrington.
Yes, Don Warrington.
The actor. Wow, you're doing your work experience inside Don Warrington, the actor. Gosh.
Anyway, so I spent my 21st birthday with my grandma
Inside
and a lot of
Don
other
Warrington.
pensioners. And they drank a lot of gin, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of them were driving home.
Oh, yeah, well, it was the
And
done thing.
The jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they would even shock
Well, but
you.
were they northern? Because they're very common, the northerners.
Well, no, they were nice, posh
There's no such thing.
northern ladies.
Seeing the grandchildren once a month, keeping in shape, a regular sex life, followed by making time for romance.
Hang on. So that comes after.
These are rubbish. Then there's one, having separate hobbies from a partner. Well, that's the same as saying taking up a hobby. You can't put hobbies and hobbies. It's like when you've got to write your CV. You can't put walking and then a bit later on put Rambling. It's the same thing. Watching a matinee at the cinema on a whim. Catching up with old friends on Facebook. That makes a happy retirement.
You've only got old friends when you're old.
Jesus, who wrote this? Where is this from?
Saga, I bet.
Financial consultant, age partnership, right? This is rubbish. Listen to this. So, what makes a happy retirement? Signing up to Netflix.
Oh, you know what they're doing? It's a financial thing.
Oh.
So all this stuff costs money.
Yeah.
So what's the
Regular
moral?
shopping trips.
The moral of the story is save up now for your retirement, because otherwise you'll be miserable.
Going to the theatre. Having time away from the other half.
Gosh.
Flipping it. People. Well, it's time for our old boot heels to go wandering. Catherine, why don't you tell the boys and girls in the last 2 minutes and 15 secs of the show, why don't you tell them about the podcast for this show, the Rabbit Hole, and where they can find such booty?
All can be found if you subscribe.
Yes.
The podcast platform that you use. But if you don't have any of that stuff, you can go to talkradio.co.uk and find the podcast for this show, which goes out every single day, apart from Saturdays and Sundays.
Every day and every night.
The Rabbit Hole, however, is something you need to look for.
It's coming out. We'll be out in an hour or so.
Yeah. I've set it up ready to rock.
Yeah.
Have a look on iTunes.
Is it Mrs. Moo's mum?
It's Mrs. Moo's mum.
Oh, it's a brilliant. It's probably that we should stop after this one because it will not get any better. Catherine gets replaced by an audience member's mum, and let's just say I am in negotiations with Mrs. Moo Senior to replace Catherine.
And I'm not mad at him because it's quite obvious where the talent is.
She's cheaper and funnier and fitter and ticks every box. So it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one, that.
So like and subscribe. Please.
Yes, like, subscribe, share, and enjoy, and thank you. Keep sending me emails of potential guests for New York, although
we're chock-a-block.
We're chock-a-block, and that email, wow. What a thrill that would be if we can pull that off. I'll send him an email because he lives a bit out of the town, but if he's prepared to drive 4 hours for us, for little old us, far be it from me to tell him to jog on. That is it, dear listener. That is your lot tonight at 10. We're going to have a Feng Shui expert on to talk about that, and I don't know, other bits and pieces. You know how this stuff works. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Thank you, Emma, as always. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, dear listener. Thank all of you, except for Paul from Stoke Poges, who's getting right on my wig.
Talk Radio, digital debate for the UK.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.